Welcome to episode 71 of Two Guys, One Sport, the recap to end all recaps. My name is Chris.
Christopher, you could be watching bad NFL football, or you could be listening to us.
George,
I know what I choose.
I think the choice is clear, George.
It's crystal clear, my friend. It's the choice of a new generation.
Yeah.
And it's not bad preseason football. It is three guys, one girl, and one sport.
3 guys, a queen, and a podcast. We'll call it that for one night.
And we will bask in the glory of our guests. Chris, introduce them, please.
Yes, first, coming in from a extended hiatus from podcasting, the lady of Wednesday Night Shooting, making her triumphant return to the airwaves, Miss Tonya Rodgers, coming back for her second appearance on the show. Tonya, excellent.
Hello. Hi, everybody. I'm glad to be here. I'm very happy with SummerSlam. Yay.
Yes, indeed. And the godfather of Los Ingobernables, the podcast, the Lord of Shooting Debris Saturday mornings. You can find him forever advocating for the dead man, Mr. Taker's Minion. Good day, sir.
Good evening, sir. Good. How the hell are you? It's nice to see Tonya back on the airwaves. Missed your girlfriend.
It is good to have you both here. Thank you guys for joining us. We are going to be talking.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Thank you both for being here as we recap NXT Takeover Brooklyn 4 and SummerSlam and the semi-significant happenings from Raw and Smackdown of this past week, of which there weren't many, but, you know, this is WWE Week. And it's going to be our usual WWE Week where we have a mixture of frustration and a mixture of comedy and a whole lot of scratching our heads. But there's actually some positivity mixed into the mix this week. I'm happy about that. There's some good stuff that's happening, and we're gonna dive right into it with Takeover Brooklyn 4. Let's start right from the start of the card.
I felt that we were getting too negative in the past 3-4 months. Easy to when you watch this company on a week in, week out basis like we do. Yeah. So I am glad to say that these two shows, on the average, were at worst enjoyable. SummerSlam, I would say, surpassed my expectations.
Yes, that is absolutely true.
And Takeover, I felt, met my expectations. Is that a fair assessment on your end?
Yeah, that is absolutely well placed assessment of the shows.
I don't know if I said last week I said Takeover was going to be the show of the year.
Yeah.
I don't know if it hit that bar, but that's a really high bar.
Considering some of the other shows that have happened this year, yes. It
doesn't mean I hated this show. Like, one of the things I hate, and many, many, many things I hate, is, you didn't think this thing was the best ever, therefore you hated it. Like that's such garbage. Yeah. I didn't think this was the best takeover of the year. But I thoroughly enjoyed the show.
Yeah. If I had a nickel for every time I heard that, I'd be rich.
Yeah, I mean, it's the biggest guarantee in wrestling is that takeovers will deliver.
Mm-hmm. It's an easy call to say that Takeover is going to be at worst a good show. This was definitely better than a good show, but doesn't quite measure up to some of the other great shows that we've had this year. But let's start right from the top with the match that's.
I have a quick question before we do that.
Sure.
Yes.
Of the 4 Takeover Brooklyns that they've had now, this is what the fourth. You said fourth one.
Yes.
How would you rank the shows? 1 through all 4 of the shows in order. How would you rank the 4 shows 1 to 4?
That's a hell of a question.
Great question. Yeah.
I'd have to.
Let me go back and look at. Let's go back and look at the cards.
Yeah. So let's just do the main events, because then I'll know which. Takeover 1 was Sasha and Bayley, right?
Well, no. Technically, the main event was Finn Balor versus Kevin Owens in a ladder match.
That was Finn, yeah, but
the Sasha Bayley.
Yeah, Sasha Bayley was the match.
The show was Sasha Bayley.
Who was Takeover 2? 2016. Nakamura Joe.
Nakamura Joe. Nakamura's first reign for the championship.
Okay.
And when Asuka retained against Bayley.
Okay.
And that was the first night also of DIY when they lost to the Revival for the tag titles.
Yeah. And then Takeover last year, what was the main event of that?
Drew defeating Bobby Roode.
Yeah, well, that would be last.
Yeah, Takeover Brooklyn 3 is definitely the bottom rung of the Takeover Brooklyn pantheon. We'll say.
I think for me personally, and then I'll let everyone else talk. I think I would do 1 because for me, 1 was really my introduction to women's wrestling in general. And yes, you had Sasha and Bayley, which was from a Takeover at Full Sail. So that's how long ago it was, which was a tremendous match. But I think really that as a neophyte to women's wrestling, as someone whose women's wrestling exposure was sorely lacking, I think 1 I'd have to place first just for that. To be like, holy shit, this is great. I should have gotten in on this 20 years ago, and so should everyone else. I think just for that, and I hate to use the word trailblazing because now I sound like Stephanie McMahon, but just for that alone, and plus the fact that the match was unbelievable. Mm-hmm. Just for that alone, I think I would go 2015, last Saturday, and then Takeover 2 and then 3.
That's what I would rank it as well.
So
same here.
1, 4, 2, 3 for me.
Yep.
Same for me. That's what I was thinking about that yesterday.
Yep.
How would I rank the 4 best to worst?
Tonya?
Well, gonna make a slight confession. I didn't watch Takeover this year.
That's all right.
But I will say I agree with George's ranking of them, though, especially just from seeing how the fan reaction to this one. I think it was a better improvement from last year. Last year was, I shouldn't have watched that one. But but yeah, I think it's fair. You say 1, and then you said 4, then 2, then 3.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's fair.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I'd have to really just dig into the cards, but just by my quick and dirty memory, like, I mean, I remember watching that Sasha Bayley match on the elliptical live, and I remember my heart rate just, how you got the little heart rate monitors on the elliptical, and I remember my heart rate monitor being like 180, and I'm like, holy shit, am I into this match?
Yeah.
I was like, this is like on par with some of the best matches I've seen in years and years, men and women. Chris, I don't grade on a curve. Mm-hmm. I mean, we've talked about I don't grade on a curve, and that was just a tremendous. I think I went 4 3/4, to be honest. I mean, that match was just everything you want in a wrestling match and more. I think people have suggested that I show it to the lady as to why wrestling kicks ass, and that is definitely a match that you can show. Cole, like, hey, watch this. This is why your idiot boyfriend talks about wrestling for 2 hours a week. Yeah, because of shit like this,
This was definitely one of the ones that made the list of things to suggest. Yeah,
absolutely. It's just a thing of beauty.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about this year's Takeover. Let's run down this card. We'll start with a tag match that definitely was a good match, but I think that it served a strong ulterior purpose that not many people are aware of. Undisputed Era, Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong defeated Mustache Mountain, Trent Seven, and Tyler Bate to retain the NXT Tag Team Championships. And this match, I think, was designed to be the last coming out party opportunity for Mustache Mountain before they go and blow the socks off of NXT UK and win the tag titles there as their inaugural tag champions. And rightfully so, because they are probably one of the best tag teams in the UK, if not the world. But this was a showcase, especially for Tyler Bate. This was a Tyler Bate showcase match. O'Reilly and Strong did their jobs well, and they progressed the story. But this was all about Mustache Mountain, 100% of the way through. Great match though, ton of fun, a good 18-minute tag match, good interactions between the performers, and I think that this if for no other reason than to see more of Mustache Mountain, this will make people want to see NXT UK.
Agreed.
Real quick. This is a perfect show opener. Fast paced, full of action, no wasted energy, no rest holds, no chin locks, no bullshit. Nobody, you couldn't move, you couldn't get up to get a drink of water in case you'd missed something. I want to give a special accolade to 2 men. All 4 of these men were awesome, but I really loved Kyle O'Reilly and Tyler Bate.
Mm-hmm.
I thought O'Reilly's offense, his MMA stuff, is just perfect in NXT. It fits in like a glove. It's not random like it used to be. It has a purpose to beat the shit out of people, and it fits in well in a promotion where there's not a lot of MMA quote shoot fighters,
Mm-hmm.
On the men's side. I mean, obviously Shayna, on the women's side, and Tyler Bates making his comeback, like that's the guy. I mean, he's a prodigy. We talk about Okada being a prodigy. Tyler Bates a prodigy. Like,
yeah.
There's no.
And he's 10 years younger than Okada too.
Yeah, he's just tremendous.
Tyler Bate is Triple H's boy for the UK.
Oh, and well, he should be.
He's Triple H has got big plans for him.
I mean, he'd be crazy not to.
Yeah, dude is.
The dude is.
21
what
years
is
old.
he? He's what, 20, 21 years old?
21 years old. Yep. And he already is one of the best in the world for the style that he performs.
Yeah, that strong style that Britain is known for.
Yep.
And he just, you could see him go, and you could see him in the ring. He busts his ass to make whoever he's in the ring with look good.
Yes, he does. Very impressive performer all around.
There's a guy right there that's not selfish.
Nope, not in the least.
No, it's not. And in fact, all four of these guys,
not a one of them are selfish.
They were all bumping like madmen.
They all four of them, whether you like them or not, whether you like the Undisputed Era or not, all four of them. That's Bobby Fish, Kyle O'Reilly, Tyler Bate, and
well, not Bobby Fish, Roderick Strong.
Or Roderick Strong.
Yeah.
And who's the big
Trent Seven?
Trent Seven. Thank you. I drew a blank there for a second. All four of them are selfless.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Man, that's what makes matches good. Is when you got people together, people in the ring that are selfless.
Yes.
They don't worry about getting their shit in. They're more worried about making the other guy look good.
But they also know how to capitalize on their spots. I will point to Tyler Bate with the spin on Roderick Strong while he had O'Reilly on his shoulders, and then the back slam with the German suplex while O'Reilly had the sleeper hold on him too was pretty impressive as well. Tyler Bate definitely capitalized on his moments, and that
he picked his spots and they were perfectly timed spots.
Mm-hmm.
You want to talk about what's the goal that all of them strive for is to have the perfect match. Well, damn it, people, we saw that at the very beginning of TakeOver, the perfect match.
Yeah,
18 minutes of action, nonstop, bell to bell.
Mm-hmm. They did the best they could with the time they were given, and their best is a pretty high ceiling.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. They didn't even touch the ceiling in this match yet.
No. The only question now is what team challenge. Well, obviously the War Raiders came out and beat the shit out of Undisputed Era after the match, so they seem to be next in line.
Props to the Era for also bumping like madmen for the War Raiders 20 minutes after being put through the ringer. They could have just deadweighted. They could have deadweighted those two guys, and they were like, "Nope, we're going to make these guys look great too."
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
I mean, it's the little things, guys.
Yeah. But do we see the War Raiders being the ones to take the titles off of them? I think so.
So do I. Just on sheer size alone.
Yeah. And the crowd is definitely behind Hanson and Rowe too, so that's
you think?
Who doesn't love two giant Viking-looking dudes in war paint coming out and just beating the crap out of the sniveling little weasels that just won the tag team titles again?
So I have a question.
Yeah.
If the War Raiders do take the titles, do you think after that they're going to call up the Undisputed Era?
I think so. I think that the main roster sorely needs a guy like Adam Cole, despite the fact that he is,
nothing more than a catchphrase.
Nothing more than a catchphrase, but the main roster needs a guy who can actually get a catchphrase over with that segment of the crowd that is so intent on booing most of the people that are the homegrown picks. So they can call up a guy like Adam Cole, who would be a homegrown pick because I mean not homegrown, but he would be a popular pick for the office because he's got the right speaking ability and he can get the catchphrase over and he can wrestle the WWE style and have a good match for TV. That's
and
what
Shawn Michaels' son.
yeah, he's Shawn Michaels Jr. That's what they're looking for. They're looking to capture lightning in a bottle again. Yeah.
Only issue with Cole is that I could see him going up to Vince and shaking Vince's hand, and Vince going, "God damn it, Paul, who's the midget?"
Yeah, that is
like
true.
Cole's a little guy. I mean, and it shouldn't matter, but I mean, we know who's running the show. So, but.
Yeah.
He cut a good promo, and they love that. And he's over, and he'll be over. Like it's just there's always that glass ceiling for guys of a certain stature.
Yeah,
I think he might be fine on SmackDown.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
yeah, I can see that.
In my estimation is that they'll show up, and we know how much Vince is obsessed with the past. And obviously, he can't bring Shawn Michaels back for a match. But if he sees Adam Cole go out there and perform like Shawn Michaels did in his heyday with the promos and with some of the in-ring work, I think that Vince could decide to take a flyer out on the guy and on the rest of the stable and say, okay, here's NWO if Shawn Michaels was leading the NWO. And there you go. So... we'll see what happens there, though.
There's not a lot, and the way NXT works in general is that once you drop the belt, whether it's the men's belt, the women's belt, or the tag belt, there's not a lot left for you to do.
Yeah,
there's not a lot of people or teams who have stuck around for an extended length of time once they drop the belt and the feud with whomever they drop the belt with wrapped up.
Mm-hmm.
So it's pretty clear that this feud is over. They're gonna face the Raiders.
Yeah, they're gonna lose.
The Raiders may beat them, and then that's it. Like there's not much left for them to do.
Yeah.
So I could easily see all of them as a unit just being called en masse.
Yeah, they would. The seemingly likely outcome is that they lose to the Raiders. While we'll get to the.
Is there a show between now and Survivor Series? Is there a takeover?
I don't think so.
Okay.
But the seemingly likely outcome will be that they will lose the belts to the Raiders while Adam Cole finishes up his current feud that he's in, and then we'll get to that in a minute, and then they'll get called up. Yeah, the next takeover is whichever is. I guess it's going to be War Games 2 is what Wikipedia says it is, and it's at
Survivor Series weekend.
Yep, Survivor Series weekend at the Staples Center in Los Angeles.
Oh, fun. Okay, cool.
So,
next match, Chris.
Next up, this one we're just going to fly right through. Velveteen Dream defeated EC3 in a 15-minute match that was not terrible. Could have been better. Neither guy really stood out in my estimation, but
no, this wasn't very good at all.
EC3 is not very good, and Dream is still pretty green. So it. Also, I thought this went a little too long, but I mean,
that definitely is true. Yeah, I'm still behind Dream. I mean,
he's got all the tools. He's what, 22?
Yeah, he's a young guy. He's got what it takes.
He's got the hard part down, guys. Mm-hmm. Getting better in the ring is just a matter of reps. He just needs to go out there and wrestle 5 nights a week. That's easy. The shit that he does that he already has on lock, like not everybody can do. So he's got the hard part down. The character, the promos, the gimmick. That's the hard part.
That's what I was going to say, George. He's got the gimmick down pat.
Yeah, he's got it down pat. Like so, the sky's the limit for him as long as he just gets the reps. And I have no doubt that he'll get the reps. It's just like, this match just was a match.
Yeah.
Well, another thing about Dream though, he fits in the same class as the previous match. The other 4. There again, Velveteen Dream, Patrick Clark, a selfless wrestler.
Yes.
He will work from underneath, and he'll look good, but he'll also make sure you look good.
Yes, that is definitely true.
So
I mean,
he had that skill before he even came to WWE or came to NXT.
I mean, there's only so much you can do with EC3, certainly, and he's doesn't
he's
really have
pretty
a whole lot
limited
to shine him up. But
I mean, he's got a great look. He's got a good promo, and then the bell rings, and there's nothing there.
It's shit. It's shit to bed.
Yeah, he's Elias with less hair, pretty much.
No, wait a minute now. Elias has improved considerably since being on the main roster.
that is absolutely true. Yes.
That is true. Okay, he's 2017 Elias with less hair. How's that? Is that better?
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
because the 2018 Elias has been pretty goddamn good.
You're right. You're right. And I shouldn't throw Elias under the bus like that. Sorry about that. So,
That's all right. We forgive you this time.
I appreciate that.
We do what will Elias.
Yes.
Because whatever show I'm on, the WWE spies are listening.
Well, then when I go to the Panera and I see him playing guitar while I'm waiting for my meatball sandwich, I'll give him $1.
Well said. Well said.
Next match.
Match.
Ricochet defeating Adam Cole
For the North American
for
Championship.
the NXT North America, which, by the way, is a snazzy looking belt.
Yes.
That is a great looking belt. I am a fan of that.
Yeah.
It's an old school looking belt.
Yeah, it is. Exactly. Which is probably why it tickles my fancy. I want to talk about one moment in this match.
Mm-hmm.
So Cole hits that perfectly timed super kick during the springboard moonsault, which they could have done that 100 times and he would not have timed it better than the time they did it in that match.
Yeah.
And then he hits the brain buster on the knee, and then Ricochet kicks out. And the most overused trope is the let's zoom in on the guy's face as he's shocked that the other guy kicks out. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But Cole was just brilliant. And his look of just disbelief combined with fear. Because he was like, "Oh, I'm so screwed. I'm so fucked." You know what I'm saying? Because that was his best shot, and Ricochet was he was special. The whole thing was Ricochet wanted to prove that he was special, and by getting kicked in the throat and then brain busted on the knee and kicking out, he proved that he was special. And Adam Cole said that was my best shot, and I'm totally screwed. And it was great. He was brilliant in that little 5-second exchange there.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Chris. Sorry.
This match was easily the best match I've ever seen Ricochet perform, hands down. And I've seen Ricochet put together some amazing matches. This was the best one I've ever seen from him.
I've seen amazing matches from him in Lucha Underground. Yeah. Lucha Underground.
Yep, Lucha Underground, New Japan. PWG.
This was better than any Ricochet New Japan match. You're 100% right there.
Yeah, definitely better than anything he's ever done in PWG. Better than anything he's done in New Japan. I haven't seen all of his stuff from Lucha Underground, so I can't say with 100% certainty that's better than all of his Prince Puma stuff. But this was definitely better than anything I've ever seen from Ricochet in any other company that I've watched him in. Psychology of the match, the interactions, the interplay between him and Cole, the way that he varied up his style throughout the match, mixing in striking and go into the high flying when he needed to. Excellently done. Cole, for his part, did his job well. Kept the trash talk going throughout the match. Stayed in his position of being the heel who will use whatever tools he has by hook or by crook to retain the title. And then in the end, you fall victim to Hurricane Rana from over the top rope all the way to the floor. I mean, there's only so much you can do about that, but he did a great job. I really enjoyed this match. This was my second favorite match on the card. Yeah, I loved it.
I think it was my third, but a very close third.
Mm-hmm.
I really loved the top 3 matches in this card.
Yes,
and being third on this card is not a bad thing.
No,
I thought Ricochet for the first time in maybe ever told a story in the ring. It wasn't just, hey, I can do flippy shit. It was I can tell a story using my wrestling. So I dug that. I'm glad to see that he can stretch those muscles.
Well, Ricochet, like I said, I saw Prince Puma and Pentagon go at it, and my God, what a story they told in the ring. And I was seeing flashes of that in this match with Adam Cole. You know, that they were both of them were busting their ass in the ring work rate wise, but Cole was telling a story, and Cole was telling his side of the story more so than Ricochet was, and then all of a sudden, about a third of the way through the match, the light bulb went off. The light bulb went on for Ricochet, and he started telling his side of the story, and that's when the match got really good.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you were seeing Ricochet, you know, he kept hearing Cole say, "You're not special. You're not special." And you could actually see at one point where Ricochet's like, "Fuck you. I am special. Here, I'm going to show you why."
Yep.
And that's when the light bulb went on. And that's when the match got good.
Yeah. I mean, that's not to say, I mean, for me personally, the whole match.
That's not a knock on that's not a knock on the match.
Mm-hmm.
That's just, you know, maybe it was planned out that way. I don't know, but that's not a knock on the match. I mean, it's nice to see two people finally get on the same page in the ring.
Certainly.
You know, I don't know how much history those two have away from NXT, if any.
Yeah. They really don't have a whole lot that they did together in New Japan. I mean, they may have had some matches in PWG against each other, but like I don't think that their interactions have been very great over the course of the year in terms of quantity. So overall, I think, you know, for two guys who were coming in relatively unfamiliar with each other in the ring, this was definitely a case where they put their best work out there.
I'll agree. Like you said, ranked third on the card. Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah, this was my number 3 match.
My number 2. So, all right.
You want to talk about You want to talk about my number 1 match on the card?
Oh yeah. Okay. So,
Chris.
Yeah, this is.
I feel that Kairi Sane and Shayna Baszler sat down Saturday morning, watched the G1 finals, and said, "Hey, why don't we do that?" and then you got Kairi Tanahashi hulking up, you know, as she's just taking these slaps, these strikes, and just growling and
screaming in Shayna's face.
I'm like, yeah, you go, Kairi Tanahashi. And she hits the high fly flow to the outside, and I'm like, yeah, you go, Kairi Tanahashi. Hits through. And I'm like, yeah, you go, Kairi. I mean, Chris, I went 4 3/4. I almost went the full 5, and how much I love this match. But my thing with the 5 is, if you think about it, it's not a 5-star match.
No,
like
but
it's got to be like an automatic. This is a 5-star match, and I was like, So I went 4 3/4. This is maybe my second favorite NXT match of the year, behind Almas and Gargano from January. I loved everything about this match. Was just, we talk about the term carrying, and this is not to insult my girl Shayna Baszler, who I adore with a passion.
Because she did her part for sure.
Kairi Sane, I mean, if you didn't know that she was one of the best in the world, men or women, now you know. If you don't know, now you know. Like that, you want to talk about a ring general? You want to talk about a veteran holding someone by the hand and saying, "This is what we're going to do," and bumping around and selling on offense, where she's flexing her leg during her comeback and she's hitting the thigh. Take notes, Seth Rollins, which we'll talk about in a little bit. You know, hey, you want to sell on offense? This is what you watch. You watch Kairi Sane build her comeback, and what I love the most, and then I'll let you gentlemen and lady talk. When she starts striking, you notice how she's leaning on her good leg? She starts her striking comeback, but she can't lean on her right leg because it's shot. So she does everything on her left side because that's her stronger side. Chris, like, that's like Kenta Kobashi level stuff.
Yeah.
That's like that's Jumbo Tsuruta level stuff. That's Stan Hansen level stuff. That is as good as it gets in this business. I mean, she is at a different level than anyone else on that roster. And that is a loaded roster.
Yeah.
And I'm saying male or female. I mean, your ace of that company is Kairi Sane. That promotion is Kairi Sane. And you've been saying it for 2 years as I met you. So take your victory lap, my friend. But
I will take it right now, and I will say this.
Take it. Yeah. Take it and walk.
Yeah. we invited the good brother Andrew M. Swift to be on the show tonight. Unfortunately, he could not make it, but he might disagree with me because I know of his deep-seated love for Sasha Banks. But I think he would be at least in strong agreement with me that this match is definitely one of the best NXT women's title matches that has ever happened in this company. I would say number 3 behind only Sasha Bailey 1. That's the obvious number 1 because that's one of the best women's wrestling matches that has ever happened in the history of wrestling, period. And number 2 being Asuka Nikki Cross last woman standing match.
God.
Which is a match that would be hard pressed to be beaten by anything.
My match of the year last year.
It takes a legendary match to beat that match. And Sasha Bailey 1 was a legendary match. But Kairi Shayna is number 3 in my rankings. It very closely edges out Sasha Becky from TakeOver Unstoppable, which was my previous number 3 and has now fallen to number 4. Kairi Shayna is right now on an 8-month of the year slate, my top women's wrestling match of the year.
Yeah.
You would know because you watch a hell of a lot more than I do, my friend.
Yeah. This was singularly stellar on every level. These two put in the work and put together a match that performers at any level would be hard pressed to replicate or, equal in any way. Kairi, obviously we've said, is one of the best. And she's a student of the game, and she's proven it time and time again throughout her career, starting up in Stardom and now with NXT. She has proven time and time again that she knows wrestling inside and out and is one of the best.
Well, that comes down to her initial training.
Yeah, and that that speaks for itself. But Shayna, my God, I have to give all the props in the world to Shayna Baszler because Shayna from a year ago, from the Mae Young Classic finals to now,
my God!
This is
like night and day,
100% improvement.
The biggest glow up that there has ever been. Twitter put it out there. This is the biggest turnover that I've ever seen from a performer.
She's not even the same. She's not even in the same caliber.
Nope.
Then as she is now. It's like it's night and day isn't even a good enough of a compare. It's like night and next week or something. I can't even.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
You want to talk about putting in the work and the reps? She's got the reps, and
has anyone seen the poster for Evolution yet?
Yes, I just saw it. Yeah.
So she's on the poster. She looks terrible.
Well,
Shayna Baszler looks like we're going to talk about raccoons later, but good God Almighty, on that poster, Shayna Baszler looks like a freaking raccoon.
Yeah, well, that's blame the Glam Squad for everything. Absolutely everything. But we'll get to that later.
That's what I said. But if we're going to talk raccoons, come on, people! Look that poster of Evolution with Shayna. That is bad. That is bad.
Really,
it looks like she hasn't slept in 2 months.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, it's pretty terrible. But Zed, she does look angry, but they didn't do her any favors in trying to what they do to quote unquote enhance her appearance. But that is what it is.
This match was. I may watch this match again tomorrow.
You should.
I should.
Because this match is worth the rewatch. This is absolutely, as Madeline said, absolutely the match of the night. If you watch nothing else from TakeOver Brooklyn 4, Kairi Sane versus Shayna Baszler for the NXT Women's Championship is the match to watch.
Yes, it is.
We put up with a lot of bullshit as wrestling fans. We put up with a lot of bullshit on Twitter and in companies we watch and whatever. You watch shit like this, you're like, oh yeah, I forgot that I like this. I like this stuff. It's one of those matches. It's one of the matches where you're like, yeah, I like this stuff.
Well, George, NXT is kind of like what you and I want and pray for.
It is. Stuff makes sense.
It's a wrestling company that does television.
It's exactly. Stuff makes sense. But let's talk about the main event, and then we'll finish because we got to get to Survivor Series. Wow, we got to get to SummerSlam.
Yeah, the other SS.
We got to get to the main event.
You know what? I actually can talk about this because I've seen
Tonya,
the
talk,
highlights.
Hit us, Tanya. Hit us with it.
Okay, Johnny Gargano versus Tommaso Ciampa.
Again.
For this time for the NXT Championship. We can finally admit that Triple H is not flawless. He makes mistakes too.
100%.
Mm-hmm.
And I love Ciampa. I've been for him, but this is a match he should have lost.
Mm-hmm.
If you plan on doing anything with Johnny at all in NXT, he should have won. I think Black getting injured was a big hit.
Huge deal
against them. It changed the entire landscape, and I don't know. I don't think they would have went with Johnny losing if Black was in it, but I'm not sure because, I've seen the spoilers for the tapings tonight, and it is rough.
Tanya, we're a spoiler-free show, just FYI.
Mm-hmm. But that is worth mentioning, though. What is to come.
What's to come is not good for Johnny. Of course, it's a great match. Those two together have insane chemistry, and seeing the highlights, it was just as brutal and violent as they've always been. But you can't have the babyface lose in this type of this is a win or you're done type of situation. Mm-hmm. And I just don't know what they were thinking. When I heard that Johnny didn't win, I was like, what? Huh? Mm-hmm. Excuse me? And then it's like he lost once again because he was a dumbass. And it's like, you can book your face to be a lot of things, but a dumbass is not one of them. Yeah. People are not going to feel sorry. I don't know what the point is. If they're people are like, well, he's going to turn heel. But I'm like, if they reunite after all the emotional turmoil that we've been put through as viewers, it's kind of that want. What was the last year and a half really for then? So, to me, that if Johnny had won, it would have been better. I just don't know. A lot of people trust the process and see the story they're telling. Well, the story they're telling is Johnny's a dumbass and he should step to the side and let somebody else have a go at it. I just don't know.
This is the fourth match between these two, and Johnny has lost 3 of them.
Let's go through. Let's go through the Johnny Gargano timeline real quick. He wins his job back. Then he loses 2 matches in a row against an opponent that he hates. Mm-hmm. Costs the guy the title, and loses a last man standing match to a guy he handcuffed to a pole. Mm-hmm. He's a geek and a loser.
Yep. Madeline got it right. Gargano's a dweeb.
He's a dweeb. He's a geek and a loser.
Don Sal,
you just can't root for that. You cannot root for that.
You're 100% right. You cannot. Why should I care about you if you're a loser and a geek?
Yeah. Don Sal, we know he's your guy, but it's just can't.
It's almost like Johnny Gargano is getting shot in the head, just like another wrestler that all of us know and love, who was shot in the head twice, 2 big shows in a row. You know exactly who I'm talking about, Tonya.
Yes, and it reminds me. There are 2 things that remind me of his booking but we'll get to that later.
Yeah.
The other one, we'll get to that later.
Because I made a point after the Greatest Royal Rumble that said, well, they did it again. They shot him in the head again.
Yeah. And speaking of shooting him in the head, that's about all that's left to happen between these two is Johnny Gargano versus Tommaso Ciampa in a gunfight where Johnny loses because he gets distracted and shoots himself in the foot, which leaves the opening for Tommaso to win. That's about all they've got left at this point.
You know,
And we were at that point with another feud. Which ended properly for a change.
Yeah, seriously.
Thank God. There is a God after all.
And in this case, in Johnny's case, you don't have somebody who doesn't give a shit about the business. So you can't use that to turn things around.
Yeah, they don't have anything left at this point because like the opportunity has passed. It's long past.
The only thing they have left is Candice leaving him for Ciampa. That's all.
Oh man, that's some Vince Russo shit, though.
If they run that storyline,
I don't think Triple H is gonna do
that's some Vince Russo shit right there, man. Yeah. Like Candice on a pole match or some shit.
Yeah.
If they run that, I am extending my boycott to NXT.
That is so. That's
George, of course, the match is going to be not Candice on a pole match. It's going to be Candice LeRae on a forklift.
Yeah, exactly. Like Judy Bagwell. With the pallet.
They haven't had their requisite shark cage match yet.
You're right.
This quarter. So they have to have Candice in a shark cage. Whoever can unlock the shark cage and rescue her from it wins Candice.
Oh God.
Oh my God.
Like a bad Japanese RPG or something.
Right? This is so terrible. But honestly, I've been saying since Johnny got his job back on Mania weekend that it's all right, it's time to move on now. But they just can't let it. Like this is one case where Triple H just can't leave well enough alone.
In fairness, Black getting hurt fucked him. But you know what? It's wrestling. Guys get hurt. Have a backup plan.
Yeah.
You know?
And the problem was they didn't have one.
Yeah, have a backup plan.
And that's not normal for Triple H.
No. And it felt like that everything was too cute in this match.
Yeah.
Like they were fighting. First of all, last man standing matches in general are usually pretty terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but this just it felt too cute. Too many callbacks, but they weren't like subtle. They were like really overt, like with the use the crutch to get up. Like, okay.
This was main roster level with the lack of subtlety, and that's a bad thing.
Yeah, this was not subtle. So, yeah, fourth best match of the show, and I think for me at least, fourth best match of the show.
Same.
Agreed.
I mean, Tonya, you didn't miss a whole lot if you did not watch the whole thing.
I'm going to go and watch Kairi versus Shayna.
You have to.
You have to.
I'm going to watch that.
Absolutely. It qualifies for top 5 real easy and hell, top 3.
I mean, it's on my top 10 list worldwide right now, Chris. So,
absolutely, mine too.
I mean, when we do the top 10 at the end of the year, it will be on the list most likely.
This is my top. This is in my top 3.
I'd have to think. It's my number 2 match in NXT behind Gargano Almas and just ahead of the Mustache Mountain one with the towel from NXT television.
Yeah.
It's Gargano Almas, Kairi, Shayna, and the towel match. And then for NXT, I think it's like 6th. I'd have to like really sit down and think about it.
Yeah,
this 6th maybe.
This very quickly surpassed a lot of my New Japan favorites, but a lot of that is, I will say, is a lot of personal preference there because I think Kairi is probably one of the best baby faces that there has ever been in the business, and she displayed that perfectly in this match. So in that regard, that's probably a little bit of personal bias there, but that's why it's a top 10 list. It's mine.
All good, my friend.
Well, one of the things we could say about Kairi too is that you talk about how good she is. Okay, this is the same woman that in Lucha Underground was part of the Black Lotus Triad.
Yeah,
and wrestled Pentagon.
Yeah,
and at times was getting the shit knocked out of her by him.
Oh, like 80% of that match, she was getting the shit beat out of her by Pentagon, and she still came out of it looking like a fucking badass.
Yeah,
like a badass.
She's a special
amazing.
She is. I mean, but something like that on the main roster in WWE with Kairi. Yes, please.
We wish.
Shall we?
I'm sorry. She needs to go dye her hair blonde quickly.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, that's
so sad, but it's true.
And get some enhancements.
Yeah, right.
As Becky called them, right?
Yeah.
As Becky called them.
Call Becky. Call Becky.
Yeah, as Becky called them on YouTube today.
What she didn't do.
This is what I get, Chris, for getting sucked in again.
Right?
I know better. I freaking know better. I got sucked in.
I figured this was going to happen, but we'll get there.
Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in.
All right, let's talk SummerSlam. Let's talk SummerSlam, guys. Pre-show, there's a lot that we don't care about on this card, so we're gonna blast through a lot of this stuff.
I didn't watch the pre-show, so yeah.
I caught the very end of the pre-show and was disappointed.
I watched the pre-show because I hate myself.
Nice.
So
Almas
and Zelina Vega won.
Beat Lana and Rusev.
Yeah, they had to protect Lana. Lana had her feet on the ropes. I don't know why, but whatever. Yeah, great. It was, okay. Then we had Cedric Alexander and Drew Gulak. It was a good match.
Yes, as it could have been expected, because those
two are Gulak was going to win, and then set up for the win. The Mustafa Ali to beat him down the line, but apparently not. But that was okay. I liked this match because it was different. A lot of holds and counters and stuff. I am excited for them to have a 205 live match in a couple weeks. It's going to be unbelievable.
Yeah.
So
I don't think that they're going to give Drew the title because they're too intent on keeping 205 as being like highlighted by the flippy do stuff. And Gulak does not fit that mold, but he is, and that is too bad because he is well worth having the belt. It's unfortunate, but
in like 2 weeks, I'm going to be back on this show raving about them having an awesome match on 205 Live. I just feel it. And it's going to be great. The B team and the Revival. How I feel about the B team.
Sucked.
You know how I feel about the B team. So yeah,
that match was god awful, and I really wish it hadn't happened.
B team, go. Okay.
Away.
Let me ask the three of you a serious question.
Okay.
If Mike Rotunda and
Kurt Hennig.
Thank you. If they were construction workers or short order cooks or accountants or electricians or freight brokers or truck drivers or anything other than wrestlers, would these two guys be in this company?
No.
I don't think so.
That tells you all you need to know.
Well, let's put it this way, and we'll talk about him we'll talk about him briefly. We might as well because the whole thing came up with Rusev and Lana versus Zelina Vega and Andrade Cien Almas. Aiden English. The only reason Aiden English is still around is because who is he married to?
Probably. But at least they're not having him hold belts. You're not wrong, my friend. But
not yet.
This match was no good.
Yeah, I think the only reason why they're not having him hold the belt is because the connection to the Guerrero family is probably not as well known as it is to say. Because they spent Curtis Axel's early career entirely talking about how he was Mr. Perfect's son, and it's very easy.
His name is a tribute to his father and his grandfather.
Yeah. So it's very easy to draw that line, and it's pretty hard to not know about the significance of the Rotunda family in WWE history, and to know that that's where Bray and Bo come from. So,
speaking of Bray,
no, let's not speak of Bray.
Let's not.
Because like I said on Saturday, Chris, he's out in the darkness, wandering without a compass again.
Good.
Keep wandering.
He tweeted because because of what happened Monday. So don't be surprised if he doesn't weasel his way into the awesomeness. You know what I'm talking about. And who is that group going against? And who debuted that guy? And Matt Hardy is basically retired. He hasn't said he's retired, but he's basically retired. So.
God damn it.
God damn it.
Yeah.
Don't forget, I didn't warn you.
No, Tonya, you warned us. But you know what?
Diamond Dogs, yeah.
Just because you warned us of the train coming to hit us doesn't make the train hitting us any less painful.
I want to know how long it took him.
The thing about it is that I said also on Saturday about the B team, Chris, is this. You know, they could always do a freaking parody of the Bullet Club with them and call it the Emerald Club. Remember I said that?
No.
Hey Chris, can I shoot on Seth Rollins now?
Wait, we're not.
God.
Wait. Do we have anything else to say about the pre-show?
No.
I mean, was anybody surprised by any of the results?
Oh, can I just say this one thing?
Sure.
I don't really like her. I don't. But Lana, compared to how she used to be in the ring, it seems like she's getting it. And I'm pleasantly surprised. Like, she's not great or anything, but, you know, she knows where to be in the ring, and she doesn't look awful as hell anymore. So I'm going to give her a little praise. She's kind of putting it together.
She's working at it.
I'll give her that.
She is.
I'll give her that, Tonya. What I saw from that match and the match again on Tuesday with Lana was basically the same Lana that we saw at the very first WrestleMania she was at against Naomi. That first match she had ever at WrestleMania for the title with Naomi.
It wasn't a title match. It was a 10-woman tag match that she was.
No. She's had a singles match against Naomi at WrestleMania. At a pay-per-view. I can't remember.
It wasn't at Mania, but it was at yes.
She looked as good as that match because that was her best match until just recently.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, I agree. She has improved considerably. I guess she's been down at the Performance Center learning the craft.
Good.
It's good that she's putting in the work. I mean, it still doesn't help the fact that she's,
she sucks, but anyway,
she does
less good than pretty much everybody else on the roster.
I mean, she's gone from like an F to like a D maybe.
Mm-hmm.
She's gotten to the point where she is not quite a hazard to herself and others. Like during the Money in the Bank with the ladder, I'm like, she's gonna kill someone. Someone's going to die. And maybe herself in the process. Yeah. And she's not there anymore. She has gotten better. You're right.
Yeah.
Plus, it comes with the reps of her being on the house show circuit.
Exactly. The reps.
That does help. Yes, that does help.
So,
but
now can I shoot on Seth Rollins?
Yes, now you can shoot on Seth Rollins. Go to town.
Before I shoot on Seth Rollins, why did Ambrose and Drew get entrances? I was watching that. I was like, "What is this? Why did they get their own entrances?"
Drew is the only person that the Vince and company actually care about on that side of the ring, because he's Drew McIntyre.
You know, it's been 10 years of Dolph Ziggler.
Yeah,
that doesn't count. That doesn't count Nikki and the Spirit Squad. I'm talking 10 years of Dolph Ziggler with the hair.
That noise.
It's been 10 years of Dolph Ziggler, and other than for about 10 minutes at Survivor Series 2014, has anybody cared about him?
Nope.
No.
You know?
Nope. I mean, there was the
Team Avalanche.
That 10-second moment when he was in the feud with The Miz, when they actually made him look good. That's right. People care about him, and he was fighting for his job. But other than that, a lot of garbage. A lot of garbage with Ziggler.
Okay.
A whole lot of it.
Okay.
As far as Ambrose getting an entrance, it's because they needed the crowd pop for him being back yet again. Because, crowd pops, they matter.
Yeah. How about Seth? On the off chance you're listening to this show, I want you to watch Kairi Sane from TakeOver, and I want you to watch her sell on offense. and I want you to at least give me an effort. Because every single Seth Rollins match for 2 years has been, oh my God, they're working on his knee. His knee, his knee, his knee, his knee, his knee. And every single Seth Rollins match, his knee is 100% fine, and he starts making this flippy-do shit comeback.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even Jonathan Coachman is calling you out on it. Even Coach was like, so much for the injured knee, which, Coach, what are you doing? But still, even Coach is calling you out, and he's garbage.
Yeah, Coach. By the way, Coach, let it never be said again that Renee Young is bad for commentary, because she's miles better than Coach.
More Renee, please.
Yeah, more Renee.
Coach saying so much for the injured knee was like, oh boy, it's going to be that kind of night, isn't it?
Yep, it was.
Like, dude, I like Seth Rollins. I like him. But like, as long as you keep doing shit like this, you're going to be at a certain level. You want to be an elite wrestler. Your gimmick is that you have good matches. His gimmick is that I have good matches, right? You don't have good matches. You have good spot fests. There's no connective tissue in any of your matches. It's like he's the ultimate video game wrestler. He just does spots with none of the shit in between spots that make anything matter.
I'm going to draw a comparison here that's probably going to piss off a lot of people, but
go for it. I have a comparison too, but I want to hear yours first, because I think it might be as close to or the same as mine.
I'm going back to what was in the prequels of Star Wars, the third one.
It's not the same, but okay.
The third one.
Yeah.
Where you've got Palpatine and Yoda going at it in the Senate. Yoda's sitting there bouncing around. Now this is a character, quote unquote, that can barely move on normal. Has a hard time walking, everything else like that. Put a lightsaber in his hand, and that guy becomes like, he's 800 years old. All of a sudden, he drops to be what, like 400 years old, and can fly around and bounce around like nobody's business.
Yep.
This is Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins is the freaking Yoda of WWE.
Just as good cutting a promo too.
Yeah, well, that's what I was going to say. He Seth Rollins is Kenny Omega without all the important stuff.
Yeah. That is with the bad facial expressions and none of the good stuff.
Yeah, that is what you get with Seth Rollins. You get Kenny Omega. You discount Kenny Omega, but you're discounting all the good stuff that matters, because cutting a promo is in his snivelly little weasel voice that is still the same as it was from back when he betrayed the Shield in 2014 and was heel in 2015. Still the same voice, and none of the psychology and interactions that you get in a Kenny Omega match. And granted, I'll tell you this match with Dolph Ziggler, I actually didn't mind. I thought it was a good way to open the show. I thought that it did what it needed to do for opening the show in terms of getting the crowd excited and getting people invested. But that's because it was a main roster show, and what was to come understandably had everybody feeling a little unsure of themselves to begin with. So to put people a little bit at ease and say, all right, this is a good starting note, was, a good thing to do. It doesn't mean it was good, but it worked out for what they needed.
I agree with you guys. Seth Rollins is terrible at selling. But I didn't even think Ziggler was targeting his knee. He hit it a couple of times. My problem was commentary kept talking about it, but that wasn't the story of the match. It seems like they have a directive that every time Seth Rollins wrestles, you have to mention the knee 100 times. Keep saying his knee, his bad knee, his bad knee. And I was like, shut up. He never once ever sold that knee unless it was hit. And Dolph Ziggler hit it like maybe 2 or 3 times. There was a spot where Seth Rollins picked Dolph up to suplex him, and then they both fell out of the ring. And they were like, oh my God, his knee. And I'm like, shut the fuck up. They both fell out of the ring. Stop talking about his knee, please.
Yep.
So
I say
sometimes it's more commentary ruining it and putting it in your head that Seth is supposed to be selling the knee.
Yeah.
They're just trying to force that Triple H parallel as hard as they possibly can. They're just trying as hard as they can to sell that Triple H parallel.
I got a question.
I feel that
nothing fucking alike.
I've got a question for everybody. Who thinks this match between Dolph Ziggler and Seth Rollins was more so about Dean and Drew?
Oh, it absolutely was.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The belt was secondary.
Which sucks because it's the Intercontinental title, but what are you going to do?
Yeah.
It's kind of lost its luster since Miz left, unfortunately. Yes, I'm giving props to Miz.
God.
Mark this date down on your calendars, ladies and gentlemen.
The sky is opening with fire and brimstone, Taker.
Chris and company, I say this every like 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
The commentary in this company is at an all-time low.
Oh, yes.
And I feel like I say that after every 6 weeks, 8 weeks. But like the commentary is just depressingly bad.
Michael Coulthard needs to go away.
It's like heel Michael Cole bad. Without the fun of heel Michael Cole. It's just bad. It's not even fun bad. It's just bad.
Yeah.
Now, let's put it this way. I would much rather have a two-man booth than have the King back with Michael Cole.
No.
At least we would be entertained.
No. I'm so done with Jerry Lawler. I don't find him entertaining.
I don't think that's it.
I don't think that anything he brings to the commentary booth is worthwhile in 2018 in any way, shape, or form. You give me Corey Graves and
give us Corey Graves and Renee.
You know what? Yeah, Corey Graves and Renee, or Corey Graves and Vic Joseph. Vic Joseph actually knows what the fuck he's doing and actually delivers pretty great commentary on 205 Live.
Although Graves and Saxton ain't bad either.
Yeah, but that's more about their interplay with each other, and I think that they need to lighten up on that and let Saxton just play it straight. I've been saying that for 3 years though, so what the hell do I know?
Yeah,
they're too addicted to Corey Graves as a heel announcer.
Yeah, letting him.
He's not Bobby Heenan, and he never will be. So he can tone that down too.
Yeah.
Bobby Heenan was God at the announce table and was God as a manager.
Mm-hmm. Then they'll never replicate that.
Member of the Hall of Fame of Connoisseurs of Wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, which you can listen to Mondays at 8 Central.
Yes, we'll get to that. We'll get to the plugs.
Tag team match.
Right result, wrong execution.
I thought this was kind of boring.
Well, that's why I say right result, wrong execution. This match could have been there have been we raved about the New Day Usos feud while it was still going, and it was going strong. And this match, I don't know if it could have equaled the matches that we got from that feud because, New Day and the Usos' interactions with each other is on a whole different level that you can't very easily replicate. But it definitely could have gotten close because Harper and Rowan, they have the chemistry, they have the ability to put together a great, solid match, especially when they've got a guy in there like Xavier Woods who will bump like a freaking madman, and you've got a guy like Big E who can match them power for power and put together a really, really solid match. But going with the DQ finish just sucked me right the hell out of it.
Well, I think that had something to do with Rowan, or was it Rowan?
Yeah.
Eric Rowan getting hurt.
Yeah, what exactly happened in there? Because I'm still unclear.
They say
when he caught someone on the dive.
Yeah, he tore his bicep.
Again? He tore his bicep again?
Again.
God damn it. His career's done.
Yeah.
He's going to be future endeavored once his injury heals.
Yeah, that fucking sucks. Oh, that really upsets me.
Yeah, he tore his bicep on his right arm because if you look at the match from Tuesday, his right arm is heavily, heavily taped and has a big support band on it, which is not normally there.
God damn it. Zed, you're absolutely right. Xavier Woods is extremely underrated, but the fact that they have utilized the fact that Kofi is getting older to kind of advance Xavier into Kofi's role as like the other in-ring guy next to Big E really has given him a chance to shine, and I think that he will be given a pretty good opportunity to shine once they decide to run with Big E's singles run, which probably will be soon once this tag title reign is over. They'll probably, because they've been talking for forever about giving Big E a singles push. So I wouldn't be surprised if once this tag title... Yeah, no, talk is cheap, yes. But I can't see why they wouldn't actually run with that sooner rather than later, because the tag scene could definitely use some freshening up. And what better way to do that than to take the guys who have been synonymous with the tag scene and let them do something a little bit different for a little while.
Yeah, I mean, it's the New Day. That ship is has about reached its destination. There isn't really much left on that bone.
Yeah,
As a tag team.
As a tag team.
Yeah, as a tag team.
I mean, they have been fantastic. When they first debuted, and all of us here will admit, we couldn't stand the shtick. We were like, "Go away, get off my TV."
Wait a minute now.
I said it.
Not
I said,
me.
okay.
Yeah,
okay.
no, not me either. Actually, I liked original New Day.
The gospel stuff.
I was against them hard when they turned them heel.
That's how they started. They started as heels.
No. The gospel New Day thing, when it first started, like
They were good guys.
when they were still good guys then, and then
but people weren't buying it.
Yeah,
the gospel thing did nothing for me.
Well, yeah, no,
into that.
it was absolutely a bad gimmick, but I vastly preferred it than when they turned them heel against Tyson Kidd and Cesaro. I was very much against heel New Day, and I only really bought in the following year at Mania when they came out of the freaking cereal box. That was my turning point moment on the New Day when they came out of the freaking cereal box in Dragon Ball Z cosplay.
When the New Day were heels, some of it was actually pretty good. I mean, the shit talking Xavier Woods, okay, about the tricep meat and all this stuff. I would sit there and just laugh my ass off listening to him in the background. Because I mean, you could hear him.
Yes.
And the shit talking he would do, it's like, I would sit there and I would laugh. And I'm like, he's good. That boy can talk. And that's a skill that neither Big E or Kofi really doesn't have.
I mean, Kofi has it to a certain extent, but not as much as Xavier does.
But no. Xavier Woods is, and I may get yelled at for this, is on the level of Bobby Heenan when it comes to talking shit.
I'd agree with that. He knows how to talk his way into and out of basically any situation when it comes to promo work. If
he was cutting promos in the 70s when you had the house shows were the big deal, and that the weekly show in your local town, he could talk people into the seats.
You know what I want to see? George, you'll be behind this. I don't know if Takers or Tonya, if you guys will necessarily know this as well as George and I will. But George, you know what I want to see?
Talk to me.
Give me a promo battle between Xavier Woods and Stokely Hathaway.
Oh shit!
Oh, okay.
Hold on. I follow Stokely. I love him. Come on now.
Good.
I love him.
All right, so
Yeah.
everybody knows. All right, everybody.
I know who Stokely Hathaway is. Oh my god, can that boy talk?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. Good.
Stokes' Twitter feed is like the only. Stokes' Twitter feed is like the only reason I still have Twitter.
Listen, if Big Stokes was in WWE, Paul Heyman would quit out of embarrassment. Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I thought Paul's been actually somewhat decent the past month, but yeah, you ain't wrong, TR.
Yeah. No, Paul would be embarrassed out of the building if Stokely walked in and started cutting anything on him.
So
Brock would just be like, "Get the hell out of the ring, you fat man! I want that guy."
Should we talk about the SmackDown Women's Title?
Oh,
ladies and gentlemen.
Well, wait, no. First. Before we do that, did Braun Strowman concuss Kevin Owens? Because that match was less than 2 minutes. This was one of two matches on the.
I forgot all about that match.
This was one of two matches on the SummerSlam card that was less than 2 minutes.
I think it was just they realized that if they had a bunch of matches that went the full time, that it would be even more of a disaster time-wise. So they said, screw it, we're having a squash. I'm okay with a squash.
Okay, as long as it wasn't, if it was playing that way, then I'm okay with it. I'm on board.
Sometimes you're going to have a squash.
Yeah, that's fair.
Must be talking Kevin Owens, Braun.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, sure.
I kind of figured it was going to be a squash just based on how Kevin Owens walked out. He walked out like he was a deer in headlights scared.
Mm-hmm.
Which basically destroyed the entire build-up that they had done, where if Braun got counted out, disqualified, pinned or submitted,
any sort of defeat, yeah.
I was expecting.
Yeah, I would have liked to.
I was expecting Jinder to be involved, to come out, Jinder or Sunil Singh to come out and grab the case and make Braun take off after him. 10 count, overdone. Give the case to Kevin.
Madeline says the refs checked KO immediately, and I don't recall exactly if they immediately jumped in, but like either way, I think it worked out for the best. But
I think it worked out for the. If Braun is supposed to be a big scary monster, him beating the shit out of Kevin Owens in 2 minutes is not a bad thing.
No, it's not.
No.
But here's a question for you. Oh, go on.
We'll get to something else later where he got punked.
Yep. Here's a question for you. In what world am I supposed to like Braun for bullying Kevin Owens?
That's a good question.
I don't know.
Did anyone else notice that the Be a Star ad was like right after this match? I was like, that's great timing.
Yeah. There's something weird about this company where they and we've talked in the past on this show and on other shows as well about how WWE wants you to forget about all the history except when they think it's convenient to remember it. And this was a case where they were expecting us to say, oh, right, Kevin Owens is a dirty, dastardly heel that everybody's supposed to hate. So Braun treating him like garbage shouldn't be a problem for anybody else, right?
But what did he do that was so wrong to Braun, though?
Yeah, I'm with you, Tonya.
Yeah, it's a very strange.
Mm-hmm.
Very strange. I don't know.
So
it's like, it's cute. Braun tips over stuff. Haha. But like, he terrorized this man for weeks and weeks and weeks.
This was not Braun the cartoon character anymore that we've talked about.
No. This was Braun, I'm going to come in, I'm going to fucking kill you.
Yeah. And that was...
The question I had was,
him to be the
what
face.
did Kevin do? What did Kevin do to be thrown off a 25-foot ladder through a freaking through a bunch of tables and boxes? Come on.
And a cage.
At this point, he must have done some kind of faux pas events. I am reminded of that 24, where right after his Mania match last year with Jericho, he went straight. He went to Vince and was like, "Are we good?" And Vince was like, "No." I was like, "Damn."
You mean the 365?
Yeah. Well, it's basically the same thing.
Same difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was like, that is so. Why did they put that on air? Just showing him getting rejected by the boss and the biggest show of the year.
Yeah, really. That was not well thought out. But
I don't know.
But he's been in booking Doghouse ever since.
Well, yeah. But then again, we've talked about on this show Kevin Owens, captain phoning it in for how long?
That's true.
I got a new captain phoning it in, Chris. I got a new one.
We'll get to it. Okay, we'll get to it. Okay.
First, women's match.
Yeah, let's talk about this.
Do you want to have the Becky Lynch conversation, team?
Oh, let's have the Becky Lynch conversation, please.
Yes, please.
Yes.
Let's have that.
Let's have the Becky Lynch. You know what? Who wants to start with the Becky Lynch conversation?
I'll start it.
Take it away, my friend.
Because on Saturday, and this was a major topic that we discussed, and it was, 20, 25 minutes, Chris?
Yeah.
Where we went round and round about this, and I kept saying, Becky's going to lose, Becky's going to eat the pin and beat the shit out of Charlotte and turn heel. I called the actual finish of the goddamn match.
Mm-hmm. You did.
Over 24 hours in advance. Either A, WWE spies were listening, because it's not the first time that I've said something on a podcast that's happened within a week.
Or
B, that was it all along.
I'm pretty sure that was it all along.
Yes.
So do I. But there's rumors out there now that, the original thing was that Becky was going to win, and I'm like,
nah, hell no.
They're doing damage control now.
There's no way that Becky
I said if Becky loses this match, The story of the plucky, do-good, pure, white meat baby face Becky Lynch is done. There is no meat left on that bone.
Nope.
And there wasn't. They double screwed her by having her eat the pin yet again, which has been the MO for her forever.
Yep.
Forever.
Yep.
And, she gets right there, right on the precipice, and fails.
Yep.
She's been getting the Roman Reigns booking.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
The Roman Reigns booking when it comes to Brock Lesnar for what, the last 2 years?
No. Yeah.
She falls short.
The Roman Reigns bookings exclusively as it relates to Brock Lesnar, but Becky's booking in that regard relates to literally everybody. So
right, like Thomas said, everybody has to be special. Therefore, no one is.
Yeah,
and I agree with it. Now, Becky and I sat this whole week, and I've been looking at it, thinking about it, and writing writing stuff down for my own show, and doing a lot of work on this.
Mm-hmm.
Becky on SmackDown was a number 3 face behind Charlotte and Asuka. She is now over on the heel side where she's in the number 1 slot. She's getting a push now. She's going to get a major push as a heel. We already know this.
Yeah.
But it's not the push that everybody wants. No. They're gonna shit all over it. We know this.
Yeah. They already have.
Oh yeah, they already have begun. But there again, there's Vince with the hammer and the square peg trying to put it in the round hole, and he's beating the shit out of it.
Anya, I sense you have something you want to say about this. Please go ahead.
Oh my God. Oh my goodness. Okay, where do I start?
At the beginning.
I've said this on Twitter. I've made this comparison. What they did with Becky and Charlotte is if they took Daniel Bryan and turned him a heel against Roman Reigns. It's not going to work. I don't have a problem with Becky being a heel because, her act was kind of getting a little stale and boring. And being a heel, that's another side of her. She's a great performer. She's a great talker. So she can do that. People they love Becky. So you have to give them a reason to boo. And beating up Charlotte is not it. Charlotte is the female version of Roman Reigns to a lot of people. Now, I don't agree. I don't agree. I agree. Charlotte is worse because there is room to breathe for the men. Even if they're not in the top, they can be Intercontinental Champion. They can be Tag Team Champion. For the women, it is literally only that, the title. That's it. Or pointless tag matches. Mm-hmm. Pick your poison.
Yep.
So with Charlotte being a 7-time champion in a span of 3 years, it's frustrating. People want different. Charlotte's not that dynamic of a talker. She's not really that good of a worker. She does flashy moves. She fucks up all the time. She does shitty wrestling all the time. She's just being honest. She's not that attractive like some of the other blonde women. She's literally only Ric Flair's daughter who always wins. Mm-hmm. Tell me why I should care. And also, are we supposed to just erase all the memory of the history of Becky and Charlotte? Because Charlotte turned on Becky first and beat her ass constantly, screwed her constantly, and there was never a resolution to that. The resolution was Becky got drafted to SmackDown first, away from Charlotte. And then when they brought Charlotte over to SmackDown, they never addressed what Charlotte did to Becky. So fans who are now upset that you have not only have you turned Becky heel, you turned her heel against the bitch that has turned on her and screwed her over for championships over and over. And we're supposed to get mad because she beat her ass. Charlotte's still the fucking champion. She didn't really do nothing. She grown. She could take an ass whooping. Who cares?
Mm-hmm.
So her sitting there and saying that also Becky had to beat the entire division, then beat Carmella to get that shot. Charlotte lost twice to Carmella. And then just waltzed her ass back and won one match against Carmella, and she's in the match. If Naomi had been in that match, and Naomi had won, and Becky beat the shit out of Naomi, in Brooklyn, they would have said yes, yes, yes. But people would have booed her because Naomi also, she's been struggling, scratching and clawing her way back to the championship that she's only held once. So that's more of an equal playing ground. This is not the Charlotte and Becky. That's not an equal playing ground. They didn't get the same opportunities this time. And for people to say, "Oh, you're just going to get," no, people genuinely love Becky and they genuinely want to see her as champion. And Charlotte always standing in the fucking way. Yep. Nobody is going to boo Becky against Charlotte. Yep. It doesn't make any sense just because you snap your fingers and say so. And one more thing, it would have been fine if Becky had said everything she had to say except getting in there and fucking lying about fan support. That was the thing that threw me in her promo. It was like, what are they having her say?
They wanted her to throw the fans under the bus.
That's what they always
do. But we are smart. We know that's what they want. It would be fine if this feud would be fine as is if they just leave that part out. Leave the part out about the fans. Just let Becky air her grievances. And if Charlotte gets booed, so the fuck what? She's a 7-time champ. She's a flair. She's all over everything. She can handle some fucking boos.
Yep. She's at the forefront of the Evolution poster, ahead of Ronda Rousey, ahead of Alexa Bliss, ahead of freaking Trish Stratus and Lita.
Thank you.
And while we're on the subject of Trish Stratus, also a 7-time champion, Charlotte got her championship reigns in half the time that Trish did. It took Trish probably about, 6 years to get her, I think, is what I read. Yeah. And Charlotte did it in 3 with a roster that is easily 10 times more talented than the roster that Trish had to face. To take nothing away from all those women from the Attitude Era, because they certainly were talented performers in their own right and had to struggle against their own set of issues that, were in some ways, far more demeaning and degrading than what the women of the current roster have to deal with. But for the love of God, to say that Charlotte has earned her place is absolutely fucking ludicrous.
Okay, and Tonya,
to try and make the roster make it out to be like she is like as at the same level of performer as some of the other women on that roster is laughable.
Okay, and Tonya, you misspoke about Naomi. Naomi's had the women's title twice.
That first
one,
she injured.
You're right. You're right.
She injured her knee, and
that's like saying that Finn Balor held the Universal title.
Yeah, and the WWE is recognizing both of those reigns. If we're going to talk about it.
You know what?
That's true.
You know what the best part?
I wasn't trying to be mean or harsh on you, Tonya, but I just wanted to make that. I'm the historian around here, damn it.
The most annoying part of all this is that the storyline they wrote portrayed Becky Lynch as the sympathetic babyface, yet the payoff is that she turned heel, and I'm sure they're just baffled at the reaction. This is your storyline. You wrote this. Guys, it's this kind of comedy that just keeps me coming back for more WWE programming.
Right?
The worldwide leader in sports entertainment.
Hey, now you're stealing a tagline from ESPN.
It's on me for getting sucked back in, man. It's my own damn fault. But not only was she totally and completely justified, but the crowd was absolutely 100% behind her.
Yeah.
And
And rightfully so. I mean, yeah, there's going to be the people who are going to say, well, if you really want Becky to succeed, you should boo her to follow up with the storyline. But that's not how this works.
That doesn't matter, though. It doesn't matter. They don't care about crowd reactions.
And more importantly than that, going along with what WWE says isn't going to guarantee that you get what you want in the end. Look at literally any other performer who has had fan support behind them. Daniel Bryan, CM Punk,
Sasha Banks,
The Undertaker.
Yeah, any of them.
I mean, remember Biker Taker when he turned heel?
Yeah,
and how he would climb, like he was climbing up the ropes to do old school. He got up there and the crowd was going nuts. He turned around, looked at the crowd, shook his head, and got down.
Yep.
He basically told the crowd, "Fuck you."
Mm-hmm.
That is healing 101. Now, if Becky with this heel turn, the promo didn't work, the beatdown of Charlotte didn't work. All right, fine. What is one of Becky's go-to finishers? Disarm her, right?
Yep.
Let's say in her next few matches she goes to lock it in, and the crowd starts screaming and hollering, and she doesn't do it.
You cannot get a roll up instead or something like that.
Right. Turns it into some goofy ass roll up or some shit like that and wins the match. The crowd is going to shit on the match because they didn't get to see the disarm her. You do subtle shit like that, will get Becky Lynch as a heel over.
No, I think what they're going to have to do is to bring in another face for Becky to terrorize alongside Charlotte. As long as the agenda
Naomi's the only one right now because Asuka
or Paige.
She could terrorize Paige because Paige is over bigger than shit.
Yeah, as even as a GM,
yeah,
she is.
She's a face now as a GM.
Yeah,
and yeah,
it could work, but it still doesn't mean that it was a good thing.
No,
and I'm sorry. People saying she's getting a big push. I'm going to have to see those receipts because I think this is all still leading to her losing to Charlotte again.
Oh, absolutely it is. I have no illusions about that. And anybody that thinks that she is going to win is only fooling themselves.
And if she does, she's not really going to. Who has Charlotte ever really put over?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Carmella.
Sasha Banks on Raw and only on Raw.
Only on Raw, never on pay-per-view.
You know, last, I'm going to give myself the last word because it's my podcast. Damn it, you can do that. Everything the angry neckbeard says on Twitter about Roman Reigns' push is actually Charlotte's push in real life.
Abso-fucking-lutely. Thank you, George.
Like, everything you hear is pushed down our throats and, the blah, 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 and all that other bullshit that you see from the fat neckbeards on Twitter. Like, that's actually what is going on here with Charlotte.
Yep.
Like, take what you think take whatever altered reality you live in where Roman Reigns gets this monster push and come to the real world and apply that logic to this Charlotte thing,
Yep.
That's what that is. So it's astonishing to me. But
yeah.
We move on.
It's ridiculous. But yes, we move on.
What's next?
Next, another match that had me
fuck this, Chris.
Head, but like I don't really know I still don't know how to feel about it even though
I know how to feel.
Even 5 days later. Samoa Joe defeated AJ Styles by disqualification.
I know how to feel.
Tell me.
Samoa Joe's coming for your belt, AJ Styles, right? And he's gonna win your belt, and then he's gonna drive on down to Athens, Georgia, and he's gonna get on fucking top of your wife. And he's gonna bang your wife right in front of your kids. Right? And over and over and over and over again. And he said it on SmackDown. And he said it before the match. And he's low-key gonna go, gonna do that with Wendy Styles. And how does this match start? With a lockup. A test of strength. Guys, AJ Styles was so mad.
Preach, George. We talked about this. Preach, George. We talked about this in the pre-show Monday.
You were locked up.
You were hot.
Test of strength. I was not watching at the time because my internet was crapping out. And Chris, good looking out as always, man. Chris tagged me, and he goes something like, "George, you're not going to be happy with the beginning of this match."
It's like, somebody tweeted. I forget who it was, but somebody tweeted. This blood feud starts with a lockup. I said, I subtweeted it and said, "At Giatsavas, your favorite thing, right?"
Yeah.
And you said, "Good looking out. Thanks for warning me."
And I said, and you know what I said? Fuck me sideways.
Oh yeah, fuck me sideways. Is what
That's
you said, yeah.
like,
In the famous words of Tonya, the fuckamoo start.
yeah, like, come on, man. Okay, but in all honesty, are we ready to have the AJ Styles is either washed up or he's mailing it in conversation?
I've been ready to have that conversation, but nobody else wants to. By all accounts,
he's either washed up or he's firmly in the Shinsuke Nakamura. I give zero fucks, so I'm just don't want to get hurt and cash my paycheck.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay.
Like, am I out? Am I out to lunch here?
No,
Has he had a great
no.
match? Has he had a great match since the Brock match last November?
No.
No.
I think the time has come where it's a very safe thing to say. And I remember we did our rankings of who we earlier on the show. Sometime last year, we talked about who we thought our top 10 best wrestlers in the world were, and we both still had AJ Styles in our top 10. I think it's a pretty safe bet to say that AJ has at the very least fallen out of the top 5, if not all the way out of the top 10.
Not this year. If we're just looking at 2018, he's not a top 10 wrestler. Not at all.
No.
You don't think he's been given some bad opponents? Like he's had a run of like.
Well, shit, we got a title match that was a rehash of a 2000. It's basically a rehash of a 2005, is it? TNA storyline.
TNA main event, yeah.
Up to and including the stuff with the wife, straight out of the Vince.
Yeah, it's the whole damn storyline.
I mean, he has not been given a good slate of opponents, but sometimes you got to make chicken salad out of chicken shit, and he hasn't done it. And I love AJ Styles. He's one of my all-time favorites, but he's either coasting or he's starting to hit the end of the line. Like,
he's what, 43 now?
And it's not a young 43 either.
No.
So.
Well, he spent what, 5 years over in New Japan?
Yeah, and 10
that'll
years
take years
landing on his head.
I have a theory then about that.
They don't take years off your wrestling life being over there.
I think he might be he might be kind of mailing it in because he knows he's about to break somebody's record. Doesn't want to get injured.
Whose record?
Yeah.
CM Punk's.
Oh, right.
We got a ways
well, I mean,
right?
They just had Brock break Punk's record, so I mean,
that's not the same belt, and they'll do it twice.
True,
you don't think they're that petty?
True enough.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised.
Yeah, but there's one record that'll never be touched.
Oh yeah, nobody's ever breaking Bruno's record.
No.
4,000 in 2 raids, 4,040 days.
Yeah, I mean, the times are different, but
still, nobody's breaking that
record.
record.
Just like the beginning of this match just infuriated me. It got better late, but I mean, it's just like, okay.
I'm still scratching my head over the middle to end of this match, to be honest. Like, I understand what they were going for, and what they were going for does make sense on some level. Well, but like, I feel like if they really wanted to have that be effective, they would have had Joe doing this stuff for months to people.
Yes.
And this is the first sign he's ever shown of having this level of intensity. Yeah, he had some intensity in the feud with Roman and the feud with Joe, but not to this level, and not to this level of healing either, where you're bringing his wife and family into the feud. That is definitely on a different level from what we're used to with Joe.
The thing I can say about it is this: that is cheap ass heat. That is so attitude era-esque, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, that is true.
We don't need that kind of shit in this day and age.
No, we don't. But
the reaction of AJ Styles after the last comment was made about
I'll be your daddy.
I'll be your daddy now, Wendy. And the reaction of AJ Styles would be what any married man who's madly in love with his wife would do.
Yes.
You know, you lose your shit, and that's what that's what AJ did. He lost his shit. That was the whole thing. And grab a chair and beat the shit out of Samoa Joe? Why not? If it was me, and if it was somebody were to do something like that to me, and I could get my hands on a chair, I'd be beating the shit out of them. Although they would be getting unprotected headshots.
True.
In the process.
True.
Okay. So, yeah, there's certain lines in wrestling, in wrestling lore, and wrestling life, and in real life that you don't cross. And one of them is dragging someone's family. And that's what they're doing, and that's so not cool. That's just my opinion on it. I didn't like it. I don't like the storyline. They need to, what did they do on Tuesday? They perpetuated the goddamn thing.
They did because it got a reaction.
But the thing about it is please, goddamn it, that's cheap.
Yeah, but again, when has WWE ever exercised subtlety and restraint and nuance in the past decade and a half?
It's been too long.
Yeah. So of course they're going to take the opportunity to use this bludgeon of a storytelling tool and beat us over the head with it repeatedly.
And to what level? I mean, this has a smell of done all over it.
Oh yeah, there's no way this was not a Kevin Dunn approved storyline. Not a chance. This smacks of exactly his kind of misogyny and stupidity. Exactly. and
it's so fucking wrong.
And I'll say this as well. This is entirely this is entirely unrelated, and probably shouldn't play into the decision of whether or not to continue this kind of a thing or not. But if they were going to run a story like this, they could have at least decided to do it with someone who doesn't have the checkered history with certain community groups outside of his job that AJ Styles does. Because I'll tell you what, there are plenty of people who are going to look at the storyline who are going to remember how AJ Styles feels about certain people of different sexual orientations, and are going to say, whatever, he's an asshole, and he's getting what he deserves.
I agree. It'll come to that. Mm-hmm. It hasn't yet, but it's coming.
Yeah,
and maybe
it's not a reaction you want people to have, but I won't doubt that it'll happen.
And maybe that is Vince and Kevin punishing Styles, a way for them to punish Styles because he was getting too popular.
I don't think they necessarily care about SmackDown enough for that to be the case, but that is what it is. That's besides
a fucking lockup, guys.
Yeah, a lock.
Test of strength.
Yeah.
Leg kicks, man.
All right, so that's where George hit his breaking point. Let's talk about where I hit my breaking point. Before we got back, before it came back later on.
Okay.
How many times, guys, if you know me, if you have been on a show with me before, if you have talked to me about how this company does its booking with cheating heels, how many times in the past have I railed on this company for their insistence on having The Miz always win via BS and always having it come against the people that the crowd actually cares about having him lose to?
Must be talking about Daniel Bryan versus The Miz.
Fucking did it again.
Yep.
They fucking did it again. And I hate the fact that Miz has reached that level of cool heel where people are actually okay with the fact that he beat Daniel Bryan with brass knuckles. It's Daniel fucking Bryan, the guy who you wanted to be the face of the company for the past 4 years, 5 years even. Cut the shit. Seriously, this company just mystifies me with their inability to read the room. Seriously. And yeah, they'll get away with it because it's Miz and again, cool heel, but that doesn't make it right.
No.
That doesn't make it right.
No, it doesn't. I was expecting Daniel Bryan to beat him.
Yeah. And they did it also that they could have a fucking Hell in a Cell mixed tag match.
Oh, but
because we totally haven't already been there with John Cena and Nikki Bella. Nope, we got to do it again with Dana Bryan and Brie Bella this time.
But yeah, and but the one thing that has sold that match solidly was Brie Bella
punching Miz in the face.
Yes,
she rocked him.
She did. She absolutely rocked the shit out of him.
Cold cocked him as he deserves.
He sold his ass off for her.
Yes. That I will give him credit for. That is the only thing I will give him credit for, but he did the right thing there.
I mean, it was beautifully timed. I was like, holy shit.
That moment was the only thing that was any redeeming quality of this.
Tuesday night, that moment was the holy fuck moment of the week.
Mm-hmm. The only redeeming moment of this, because that match, like the way that they put that match together, it was perfectly clear right from the get-go. The moment they cut to Maurice being in the crowd with the covered baby carrier that you couldn't see inside, I was like, nope, Daniel Bryan's losing this match. Maurice is going to interfere, and it's going to be bullshit, and I'm going to hate everything about it. And lo and behold, I did.
Yep. Well, I was expecting something out of the baby carrier. I was expecting Maurice to jump the rail.
Nah, they wouldn't have her do that. You know, not in a moment where they can have two.
Or Daniel Bryan was going to fall out of the ring over near there, and she was going to hit him with mace or some shit.
That would be the only other thing that would have involved her interfering directly. Because heaven forbid we ever have the women interfere on behalf of the men in actual physical fashion.
And there's I have one nitpick on that whole thing with Brie. Can she get another some different entrance music, please?
Nah, that's never true.
I can't. Man, that makes my hair stand on end when I hear that shit.
I will not sit here and let you slander Brie Mode. Brie Mode is on my workout mix. Don't hate.
I think you might be in the minority on this one.
George, are you insane?
Brie Mode, it's on my treadmill mix, man. Don't hate.
So I'm not hating. I just don't. I'm saying I don't like it. And you know what? If that theme were to go away tomorrow, I wouldn't miss it.
I would. Yeah, I could take it or leave it, but I work out to it, so I can't hate it that much.
So that's how you start your treadmill on, huh? Bremo!
It's in the mix. Sometimes when I'm lagging, I get the dulcet sound of Bree screaming, and then it's time to party.
time to turn
time to party.
You need to have your head.
George. The instrumental part is actually pretty catchy. I will say that too.
Yeah,
I like this match. I mean, sorry, Chris, but heels winning with their managers interfering is like 150 years old in wrestling. It's just
I
know you don't. I know it's the Miz, and you hate it.
Miz.
Well,
fuck the Miz.
I don't like the Miz either, but I'm going to say this: the thing that is funny about it, and I think it's one of the 4 principles that Bobby Heenan talks about in his video, or they talk about greatest managers. One of the manager's job is passing the foreign object without being seen.
True.
Maurice passed the foreign object, got it to Miz. Miz did what he had to do, got it back to her, and she put it away. Referee never saw it, which is perfect. The fans are going to see it, but the referee is not going to.
Exactly. Easy heat. So.
Yep.
Anything on Tonya? Anything on this match?
Sorry, Chris.
I know. I'm in the minority here. I know.
I've been a Miz fan since he was Mike on The Real World. So I'm very happy for him. And, of course, if Daniel Bryan won, that would have been the end of it. Obviously, they didn't want to end it. I don't think the mixed tag match is going to end it. I think after that, they'll go their separate ways. But I do think they might probably Royal Rumble time. It's like they're going to bump heads again.
Oh, yeah.
As far as the actual match, I was very impressed with The Miz. He kept up with Daniel Bryan. And, I enjoyed it. This is one, after After the first hour or so, I stopped watching, but I came back to watch this match, and then I stopped. I didn't watch the rest of the show.
Excuse me. Did anyone see? Did anyone see the Miz's chest?
Yes,
Was
He-
all
he
shot.
was red. He was marked up.
He was marked up. Daniel Bryan was laying the chops in hard, and you could see he had handprints all over his chest, on his arms, and it's like
I'm okay with that.
bitch. Oh,
I'm okay
I
with that
love
because when it gets right down to it, this company is known far too much for being too scripted and too squeamish about actually, you know,
We're starting to see
showing what is going on.
we're starting to see more of the Walter-esque type chops to the chest
Yes.
on the men, and you know what? It's nice to see.
Yeah, I'm okay with it. 100% okay with it. Because
I mean,
you know,
Roddy
they're-
Strong beating the shit out of Daniel Bryan's chest in the Greatest Royal Rumble. My God.
yeah, it's like when you get right down to it, for me, I want to see the company, you know, actually show a little bit more authenticity because they're so known for their inauthenticity.
Yes.
And so this was a moment where they actually followed through with that, and I appreciated that.
Yeah. It was great. I was absolutely loving that, going, oh damn, someone's actually marking up the Miz. Damn it.
Why isn't it me?
Right. but Chris, you know this as well as I do. I will give props when they are due.
Yes,
Even to
absolutely.
the Miz. Even to the Miz. When I do, and I can't
I will too, even as much as I despise him. I
Yes.
will give him credit. He pulled his weight here.
He
and
does. Miz works his ass off. I ain't gonna say he don't. He does. I will give him that.
Yes. But
What the hell was that?
I don't
Does
even
anyone
know.
have any great thoughts on Finn Balor beating Baron Corbin?
Why did they bring the demon back for this? Of all
Because
things?
it was Brooklyn. It was Brooklyn. It didn't have anything to do with that cop collar. It was just because it was Brooklyn and people wanted to see something cool. It was the show was long. If he had it just been regular Finn Balor, they would have played with beach balls and crapped on that match. He came out as the demon. He kicked the shit out of Baron Corbin and he went home. It was excellent. Thumbs up. It was perfect.
It was a great match. I loved it. I mean, the absolute look of terror on Corbin's face when the lights went out and the red sky was exposed and the heartbeat started and the crowd popped and they show Corbin and he's got this oh fuck look on his face.
Yeah, he sold that well. He did a great job with that.
It was like, I'm liking this.
He sold the moment properly. Yeah.
And Saturday morning, I asked a question because LL brought it to my attention. Do you think we will see the demon here? And everybody said no.
Mm-hmm.
You were there, Chris.
Yeah, no, I said no. I said the demon was dead and gone. And you know what? They got us. They got us.
Now they added a little tweak to it. Did you notice?
Well, I mean, they change the paint every time.
But no. What
was the
happens?
tweak,
What happens to Finn every time he brings a demon out? He loses a part of himself, right?
Well, that's what they've actually never said that. That's just what we think happens.
No, Finn has said it in the past. Finn has said it. He goes, "I don't bring that out because I lose a part of my soul every time I bring it out. I lose I lose a bit of control of myself." There was a subtle difference and a subtle change in the character, in the demon character this time. Did anybody notice it?
No.
The tongue. That
yeah. Okay, that I did notice, but I didn't chalk
that's
that up
what
to the character thing.
that's a subtle character change because you never seen him do that before.
I liked it. I liked it a lot.
Okay, now here's something I tweeted to Finn. I said, you need to learn the red mist.
Yeah. Let's call in Tajiri. Call him
Yes. Have Tajiri teach him the red mist.
Yeah.
Add that to the demon character along with the tongue.
That'll
That'll sell the fact that each time he brings it out, he loses a bit more of himself.
Mm-hmm.
And then tie the two together. That's simple booking right there.
I dig it. I dig that. I dig it a lot.
I'm down for it. Great. That's a great match. Great squash match.
Yes, that definitely worked well as a squash match. Absolutely. And Corbin getting geeked out, I think, did wonders for Finn in that regard because he needed
something.
Yeah.
And then on Monday he finally got his rematch.
Mm-hmm.
And it was quite good.
We'll get to.
We have 10 minutes left. I don't know if we're going to get there. If we follow George's 2-hour rule, unless George waves it this evening.
I like y'all. I like you guys. So.
We'll see how far we'll let us slide. We'll push it as far as we can.
Yep.
But yeah. Yeah, that's about all that I have for that. You guys have anything else for the Corbin Balor squash?
No.
All right. Shinsuke Nakamura defeated Jeff Hardy for the United States to retain the United States Championship.
Sure.
Does anybody care?
No.
Nah. Taker?
Nah.
Get rid of that belt. Nobody cares about it.
Yeah. Well, they haven't cared about it for 3 years yet.
Since John Cena's open challenges.
Yeah.
Yeah. Next.
Rocket Raccoon won the women's championship.
Yeah.
Why?
The no possible good results happened. Turf Rocket Raccoon defeated no efforts Alexa Bliss.
Hey, at least it was short. That's all we could ask for, right?
4-minute match. That's fine.
How about the crowd? How about the crowd hating Nikki Bella every time she was on camera?
Oh my God.
And which is ironic because 2 years ago they popped when she returned, and I'm blaming all this reality show TV shit with John Cena is the reason.
Yep.
He's ruined her.
Yep, absolutely.
He ruined her.
100%. I agree with that 100%. So, and yeah,
right person won, right manner, great.
Oh, we must be talking about Ronda Alexa.
Yeah.
Yes.
Further proof, though, that this company only gives a shit about 3 women on their whole entire roster. 3 women on their whole roster. Easily the most talented roster of women that they've ever had in the history of the company. And they only care about 3 of them. And they're 3 that are arguably 3 that should have the least amount of attention being put on them. Well, not least, but 3 that should not have nearly as much attention put on them as they get.
Who are those 3?
Alexa, Ronda, and Charlotte.
I can see Ronda getting as much attention as she got because she's the new shiny.
Well, my objections with Ronda are purely ethical because of her views as a trans-exclusionary radical feminist. But that's neither here nor there. Alexa and Charlotte definitely are not deserving of their spots compared to some of the other women that are on that roster. And Ronda, yes, she is the new shiny, but that does not mean that she is, without fault by any means.
I didn't say she was.
Oh, I know.
But the thing about it is with Ronda is she's got such crossover appeal right now. She's going to draw eyes to WWE.
Yes, she is.
But she, with the Evolution poster, she should be in the forefront.
Yes, and she's not because Charlotte is.
Yeah.
And that's further proof about how the company feels about Charlotte. And that it's entirely, it is entirely a fantasy life that Vince is living, where he is still young enough to be in some sort of an intimate relationship with Charlotte because he is Vince. Because he is Vince. So,
why did it have to go there?
Tell me I'm wrong.
It's Vince.
I didn't say you were. I'm just asking why.
Because sometimes I need to be the one with the Captain Obvious bludgeon. Sometimes I need to be the one pointing out what is, perfectly abundantly clear, like that. So,
but even though the match was a squash match, it was still 5. It was 5 minutes, and it shouldn't even have been 5 minutes.
Yeah, it should have been 30 seconds. But
agreed.
Whatever.
And I said that.
Yeah, I like the fact that
they let Alexa get offense at all.
But the question I have is this: who in their right mind? Who did that damn makeup on Ronda? I mean, that was
Glam Squad.
There's the Glam Squad.
That was absolutely disgusting.
Mm-hmm.
This was what I was talking about earlier in the show. We talked about Shayna Baszler on the poster looking like a raccoon.
Same people responsible.
Oh my! I saw that. I was like, what the hell are they doing?
The issue with the Glam Squad, because I'm a woman and I know a little bit more about makeup than you guys make.
Absolutely.
They only know how to paint a woman with a certain type of face and skin tone. And just because a woman is white doesn't mean they know how to paint their faces. They have no idea how to paint Ronda's face. Is Ronda, Sarah Logan. Oh my God, they do her so dirty every week.
Mm-hmm.
It's just she's giving up. She started doing her little husband's thing on her eyes so they can leave her alone. Just give me some face paint, whatever. Yeah. But they only know how to paint a certain type. Like they do great with Alexa, they do great with Charlotte, they do great with the Bellas. But most of the other women, they don't.
I say this about Ronda: she don't need any damn makeup. She is a legit.
Well, she wants to. She wants to.
But the thing about it is, she doesn't need to go to that extreme. She doesn't really need much in the world of eye makeup. I mean, Jesus.
I think
she could go
you
out
could
there.
have done that look on her face in a much better way. The exact same dramatic eye they tried to give her, and it would have looked better. They don't have the skills.
Yeah. I think that the only reason why she does do it is because she doesn't want to stand out from the rest of the roster in a way that will make fans view her like she's getting some sort of special treatment. I think that's part of why they wrote that bit into the promo on Monday of, you're right, I'm not Brock Lesnar. I'm going to defend this belt and all that stuff. I think that's why they put that in there, because the backlash against Brock has been that strong and that intense that they wanted to make sure that people were not going to start drawing that comparison. And she probably feeds into that of not wanting to draw that comparison, because she probably doesn't want people to be viewing her in that way, because she sees it too. And she's smart to do that.
I stand after she gave Bailey and Sasha their props and said she's not Brock Lesnar. I stand. I don't care. Like, I don't want to know any of my favorite entertainers' personal beliefs, religious beliefs, political beliefs. Don't tell me so I can still like you.
Yeah.
So whatever Ronda believes in, I didn't follow her in MMA. I don't know. Keep it over there. Keep it to yourself. Just let me enjoy you in WWE. That's all I ask.
Ronda is on the precipice of outshining Brock when he came up as the next big thing.
Easily.
Her promo skills have gotten better. Granted, the scripting has been better. Her delivery and her timing of the delivery has gotten better. Her in-ring work has gotten better.
Mm-hmm.
You look at her from what, WrestleMania to now. That's 4 months.
Yep.
She's improved by at least 75% from when she started at WrestleMania to where she was with Alexa. Her best match so far was Nia.
Oh, yes. I love that match.
That match was fantastic. I will say that to the day I die. You yourself said it, Chris, or either you or George. The whole thing with the top rope. It's like she looked at it, looked at Nia, looked at it, looked at Nia, and you saw the light turn on.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
She's pretty great. I'm driving the Ronda train. I'm driving the Ronda train. I'm driving the Taichi train. I'm driving two trains at once. One's a little more populated. You know, so
The Ronda train is overloaded.
the Ronda train is pretty great. The Taichi train is much less so.
Yeah.
But you're also driving the Kairi Tanahashi train.
Yeah.
No.
Tanahashi.
No, are you kidding me? I built that fucking train. That's mine. That was mine.
Speaking of building trains.
Chris is building the train with the little models.
Yep. I built that train out of fucking Brios from the day I was born. But no, I mean, in the end, if of the two options here, the right woman did win.
Absolutely.
Of the two options, yes.
Now the other woman needs to go down the card and to go away for a while.
Yeah, but Tonya said it best. Oh, go on.
Go ahead. You go
Tonya said
ahead.
it best.
Tanya, you first. Tanya.
There's nowhere to go. You're either in the championship feud or you're in bullshit mixed tags. Or not mixed tags. You're in bullshit tags.
This is true.
There's nowhere down the card to go.
Yeah.
Yep.
But that's the issue here.
But let's look on SmackDown for a second.
Oh wait, Tanya, what were you gonna say? Or was that what?
Yeah, I don't even remember. Go ahead.
SmackDown, and this is a general sense. SmackDown has, if you think about it, has 3 women's storylines going.
Do they really though?
Yeah, you've got the title match with Charlotte Becky. Okay, you've got the feud, and it involves the guys as well. But you get the feud with Lana and Zelina, Andrade and Rusev. That's not done. And then you've got Naomi just starting to come back out, and she just lost the match on Tuesday.
Yeah, she lost to Payless Royce.
I'm
sorry. The Iconics suck. They always have sucked. They were cute in NXT, but it's the same old rehashed mean girls. They're not that impressive in the ring. They weren't. It's not like people are like, oh, they're ruined on the main roster. They didn't do anything in NXT but be annoying.
Yeah, they never had the chance to show what their skills are, and that's the thing. Like I've seen what they are capable of, and the fact that they were never given the opportunity because both of them wound up spending a ton of time out because
they need to change.
I call them. You know, it's a running. You've heard the old AA run joke, right, Tonya?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I call them the Iconics. I also call them the Harpies.
Tonya,
Fair.
I'm with you. I'm on Team Tonya here. Sorry.
I know.
Thank you.
I mean,
I can't stand them either. So Tonya, I'm on that same train.
Can we?
Yeah.
But main event. Sorry, Big Daddy's got work in the morning.
I know. Yeah. Let's
let's get to the main event.
I'm gonna say my one. I'm gonna say my one.
No. George. Tanya deserves the floor here first.
Yes,
I'm giving Tanya the floor here first.
Speaking of building trains, choo choo. Listen, I'm just after WrestleMania, like after the 3 count of the main event of WrestleMania, I turned my browser off. I unsubscribed to the network. I blocked the WWE network. Anybody who was celebrating or happy that Roman won, they're currently blocked on my Twitter. I was so upset. I changed my name, and I didn't change it until Sunday. Like, there's very little WWE that I've actually watched since WrestleMania. I think I've watched 3 full shows since Mania. Because I was so upset. Because I was so fucking sure that they were going to have him win at Mania. And he still should have won at Mania. But I would take it. I would take whatever I can get with Roman now. I am so happy. I am so relieved. I've been carrying around a big ass weight for like 4 years. Or no, 3, because 31 was 3 years ago.
Yes.
I was carrying, I thought he should have pinned Brock clean in the middle of the fucking ring at WrestleMania 31. And a lot of the problems that they had with Roman, they wouldn't have had it. Although I don't think he was ready then. I don't. But you put him in that fucking situation. I have to say Roman Reigns has to be one of the most patient wrestlers in the world to wait with this politicking bullshit that Brock has done. I saw the end. I'm allergic to watching Brock Lesnar wrestle now. It breaks me out in hives. I'm not going to watch a full Brock Lesnar match ever again. But I did see the finish. Hulk Hogan would be very proud of him kicking out right after the 3. Be very proud. He just, I don't even follow UFC. I hope he gets the dog shit beat out of him the next time he faces somebody in the, I don't care who it is. I'm going to be like, go other guy. Well, go Daniel, whatever your name is. Go. Cormier. Beat the shit out of Brock. I hate him. He is walking white privilege. And I am so glad that Roman Reigns is now the Universal Champion, even though I have my issues with that ugly ass belt. Like, but he looks so good with it. And it's just, and then what happened the next night? And I don't care. I just have to address this real quick. People saying, they're using the Shield. Motherfucker, Roman Reigns is the Shield. Do you think that the Shield would have been pushed with Chris Hero in it? Do you think they would have been pushed the way they were? No, they were pushed that way because the guy they loved was in the group. So it's bullshit. That is his group too. Everything that this whole week, I don't know what happened. They were like, okay, we're finally gonna do right by him. He suffered. He pissed bad on a test 2 years ago. We put him through the ringer. We hazed him. We had Samoa Joe come and publicly embarrass him right after we made him lose. He's done everything we asked him for, and finally, he gets to be the guy that everybody has been saying he's been. He's finally been chosen. He's finally been coronated. He's never won a big title and made it stick the way they did. It's like they got him to win. He pinned Brock. He didn't pin Triple H or Shane. He pinned Brock. And then the next night, they were like, finally, we're going to play to his strengths. We're going to have, instead of Braun Strowman beating the shit out of him to everybody's sick satisfaction like they did last year, we're going to actually put him where he was the most popular, in the Shield again. And I am so happy. I know they're going to fuck it up. But this week is one of the best fucking weeks in wrestling as a fan, I have ever had. I am so happy. And Brock should just stay gone. Stay gone. Be gone. I won't miss you. Bye-bye. All right.
Preach it, Tonya.
Well said.
Well said. Preach it, Tonya. It sounds like she got caught the vapors, as Vic Kensington would say, over this.
Oh God. Yes, I have. I still have the vapors. Like, I've been happy all week. All week.
And rightfully so.
And I never thought, and I'm going to say this, Tonya, I said after the greatest Royal Rumble, WrestleMania and the greatest Royal Rumble, they had basically shot Roman Reigns in the head, not once, but twice.
Double tap.
I did not think Roman Reigns would survive two headshots, but he did. But the thing about it is that, and George, you said it in the pre-show, the guy that lost the match left looking the best at the end because he was able to punk Braun Strowman with his own case. And basically, did you see how goddamn far that case went? It hit the Tron before it hit the ground.
Yep.
So that's quite a throw.
Real quick, 3 years. Roman's been chasing this guy on and off for 3 years, right?
Yeah.
He finally gets the win after a WWE distraction finish. So Braun Strowman looks like complete and total shit because one F5 takes him out despite him surviving trash compactors like he's Shredder from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. But one F5 takes him out. Roman Reigns looks like shit because it took a WWE distraction finish for him to finally beat this guy. You couldn't beat him clean. God forbid, right? The only guy who looked good was the guy leaving the territory.
Yep.
That's ass backwards.
That,
you know what?
Yeah, I will agree with that. Yeah.
The right guy won, finally. It's late. It's very late. He should have won at the absolute latest in New Orleans. He should at the absolute latest. Yeah. But you know what? I mean, I ain't turning down a gift horse. I'm not don't look a gift horse in the mouth and all that crap. Whatever. Roman won. This is it. He needs to hold the belt for a long, long, long time. A long time.
Well, here he needs to hold it longer than Brock.
Long time. The absolute earliest was WrestleMania. The absolute earliest. And even that may be too early.
He needs to hold it till WrestleMania 36.
Sure. We need to know. We need to know if this guy is a draw. We need to know if this guy moves numbers. We need to know if this guy does shit.
Well,
maybe he does.
Words
maybe
out.
He doesn't. I don't know. Nobody knows. But you know what? The only way you're going to find out is if you put the fucking rocket on this guy and you force feed him down everyone's throat.
Okay.
That's how you make a star.
Yep. George, and everybody.
Sir.
On the threads today, word is out. Roman Reigns has surpassed John Cena as a number one merch mover.
Good, as he should. For a guy who hasn't been in the company, who hasn't been hanging around the company for as long as he has, Roman Reigns should be surpassing John Cena as being the number one merch mover because people should actually be caring about him as opposed to a guy who hasn't been there for months and whose only presence with the company has been bad PR because of this shitty work storyline with his girlfriend. I'll be the one to say it. It's a fucking work, and it's been a work from the beginning because they wanted to have John Cena still be in the public eye and still look like a good guy, even though he was taking time away for stuff because they're that unsure of themselves. Because they're that fucking set on the past. And it's dumb as balls. But Tanya's right.
Yeah, and like I said, he's a top merch mover right now. And, hey, more power to him. Tonya was correct in saying this, too, about Roman. He's been so patient. Roman is a company guy through and through.
He is not a mark for himself, at all.
No, he's not a mark for himself like Bobby Roode or
Zack Ryder
or Nature Boy Ric Flair when he wrestled. But no, I can't say that about Ric Flair either because he would make the baby face in the territory as the champion look good, like you're just about there, and it would be a draw or he would sneak out a win. But he would make it. I said this on Saturday. He made Braun Strowman. Roman did.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And a lot of people, Chris, there were people arguing with me over that.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely fucking correct. Braun is as big of a deal as he is because of Roman.
That's right.
And you can say that about any number of other dudes who Roman has had to pull through bullshit. Let me tell you this. I'll tell you this right now. I'm going to make a very bold claim that you're probably going to get George very angry. It's probably going to make a lot of other people very angry too. But AJ Styles would not be nearly as big of a deal in this company without that Roman Reigns and Usos versus AJ and the Club feud that happened post WrestleMania in 2016.
I agree.
AJ Styles would not be nearly as big of a deal.
Nope.
Putting him in that high-profile feud against a guy who is as polarizing as Roman is, who gets the reactions that Roman does, gave AJ Styles that platform in a company where half the people coming in wanted him to be the top guy immediately, and the other half of the people, when he was coming in, said, "Who the fuck is this pasty white motherfucker?" Let's call it what it is. AJ Styles coming into the company, half the people wanted him to be the Messiah. The other half of the people had no fucking clue why people should care. Roman Reigns made that happen because of the fact that Roman is the guy who draws the reactions and draws the attention and draws the eyeballs.
Roman Reigns has made so many wrestlers look good. And the thing about it is, he don't get the credit for it.
Never has.
Well,
never will.
Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose were never as popular as they were standing next to him.
That's right.
That I disagree with that. Dean Ambrose was at his apex when he was feuding with Seth Rollins before he lost to a monitor.
Yeah, well,
in terms of popularity.
Okay. You're right.
Once again, they had the baby face look like a dumbass.
Yeah, they had the baby face look like a dumbass, and he lost to the exploding TV monitor of death, and that was all she wrote for Dean Ambrose.
Well, don't forget about the was it the Hell in a Cell match or the
with the
hologram
and Bray Wyatt coming through the smoke.
Yeah, what did we call him earlier? Bubonic Bray?
Yeah, Bubonic Bray. Madeline had it right in the comments. Thank you for that one, Madeline. We're keeping that one. That is going to be the phraseology from now on.
I'm going to steal it and use it on Saturday.
Hell yeah.
Everything Bray Wyatt touches dies.
Yeah. Bray Wyatt touches you, turn to a pile of ashes.
Yeah, I mean,
but Roman Reigns is a all around great performer. His promo skills have gotten better. He's getting more and more along the lines of bullet points because they're seeming to trust him on the mic more and more. And in the same process, he's turning around and making other wrestlers look like $1 million goddamn dollars.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think Finn has had his best WWE matches with Roman.
And I'm glad that Vince finally decided to just eat the gun himself and put the belt on him and just see what happens. I mean, the crowd was about 55-45 or 60-40 pro Roman. And I'm saying 60% pro, 40% against.
Yeah. I mean, you wouldn't be able to tell it by purely listening to the vocal reactions because those idiots who are anti-Roman will make a point of yelling the loudest as they possibly can because, that's what they do. But it's undeniable. The dude is a draw. The dude is over because that is the technical definition of being over is that you get a reaction. And I don't care what anybody else says. That is what it means to be over. You get a reaction. And he has gotten a reaction consistently for 3 years. So you can't tell me the guy's not over.
And also, the VMAs were Monday, and all of these big celebrities and stuff want to show Jennifer Lopez and Nicki Minaj and all these other people that I don't know who they are, but kids like them. Yeah, they got lesser ratings than Raw.
Yep.
I mean, football season starts in 2 weeks. Keep it up. We'll be tough. Keep it up, man. We'll know. Like I said, we got to know. We need to know. So
what I'm glad to be seeing though is this: a belt that's going to be present week after week after week. Yeah, are we going to have an open? Are we going to have an open challenge with it? I doubt it. But is Roman going to defend it from time to time on Raw? You bet your ass.
Yeah, I like the fact that the first thing they did was have him come out and name who he wanted to fight, and that's what I think they should do. Is let the champion decide, this is who I want to fight this week. This is who I think is deserving. And
he couldn't have picked a better opponent.
Yeah, exactly. They did the right thing there. Finally, after how freaking long that they've been doing dirty by him.
Finn never lost the title.
Mm-hmm.
He never got his shot against Brock.
He was never going to.
Yeah. Wasn't going to happen.
Right, but the fact remains, he got his shot now, and it was a clean finish.
Mm-hmm.
There was no shenanigans. Yeah, Braun came out just before the end, and what happened to him? I'm not going to, play it dirty. What does he do? He goes and he kicks Roman in the guts. Then decides to cash in after a match. That's still doing the dirty.
Yes.
That's why the Shield came out. That's why Seth and Dean came out.
Yeah, and let's be clear about something. People who are saying, "Oh, they're only using the Shield to get Roman cheered." Pay attention to the fucking storytelling, wouldn't you please? Before they even brought the Shield back together, Seth and Dean were a tag team, and they reconciled their differences and they had each other's backs. Then they brought the Shield back together. Then Dean got injured. Roman and Seth went their separate ways, but Roman still came back and helped Seth when Seth needed the help against The Miz and The Miztourage, or whoever the fuck The Miz was using as his lackeys at the time. I don't really give a shit. Roman still came to his aid and helped him out.
Yep.
The storytelling has been consistent, and it was going to be consistent because now is the time to use the Shield. Now is the time when they need to have this lightning rod that can draw focus to the company in this crucial period. They're renegotiating. They're trying to make sure that the company maintains its ratings going into this period of negotiation and has a leg to stand on. What is the thing that has been the biggest draw that the company has for eyeballs in the casual variety? The Shield, because they're different, because they stand out, because they are worthy of attention.
Exactly.
Why wouldn't they use the Shield? It's freaking common business sense.
Right. And like all three of them are on the same show. They're all cool with each other, but no, they're not supposed to help each other out in any way.
Bullshit.
Yeah.
The end. What happened on Monday night at the end, and I saw that. That was the only segment I saw. Was the match between Roman and Finn, and the thing was with Braun. And what I saw was an injustice was being performed. And what was the main tagline of the Shield? We fight for justice.
Hounds of justice.
Justice was served. Braun was put through the announce table. That was the way to end the show perfectly.
Exactly what they needed.
Yeah, and then they have a heel GM again
for a couple of weeks. Well, who knows how long?
At least however long. But like there needed to be some sort of balance anyway. So to me, it made sense.
So now we're going to have Corbin is going to be trying to do something to eradicate the Shield.
No, I think they're going to start with Corbin is going to try and get one over on Finn, and they're going to use this week's match as a justification for the Shield coming to Finn's aid, which makes perfect sense to me. So I think that's what they're going to do there, and I think that that's the right thing to do.
Yeah, but Braun with the I'm going to do it face to face, and yet Roman just had a 20-minute match.
Well, that was the thing. Braun said, yeah, I'm going to do it face-to-face, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to take advantage of the fact that you just had a match. You know, Braun did say he was going to do it face-to-face, but he did. I think that was more along the lines of, I'm not going to be like every other Money in the Bank holder for the past 5 years who has literally blindsided the guy and hit him in the head with the case before going for the match. So he's, technically being better. Technically. It was stupid, but it, technically was better. But
it's a gray area.
But regardless.
And speaking of, I'm going to say this real quick, going back to the Becky Charlotte stuff. Right now, both of them are gray hats, George.
Yeah.
That means someone screwed up.
Yep.
Someone screwed up.
You said it. You said it yourself more than once. Give me a white hat and a black hat.
That's it, man.
Enough with the damn shades of gray. We don't.
Easy. Give me someone.
It is.
Give me someone to boo. Give me someone to cheer. I'm a happy camper. Not hard. Wrestling ain't hard, man.
Nope.
So
it's the tagline of this show.
Booking is not hard. Booking is easy.
Nope. Booking ain't hard.
Booking is simple. Only WWE complicates it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And yeah.
All right. Anything else, ladies and gentlemen?
No, that is all. So, George, let's do the plugs.
Our guests can plug themselves.
Yeah. Tonya, what is going on with Wednesday Night Shooting, if you don't mind me asking? I don't want to put you
Well,
on the spot,
Andrew has lost that loving feeling.
Mhm.
Oh, what a lovely feeling.
Yeah.
But I don't. I've got promoted in my job.
Hey,
and-
congrats.
Thank you.
That's a good thing.
And I'm working longer hours. But since I do know I can do this on my phone, I will start doing podcasts probably like after like a major show or if something big happens, then I'll start doing more podcasting. So look out for that, guys.
Definitely.
Awesome.
We will promote it heavily because you are one of the best voices for this, and we are always happy to have you on the scene, bringing your amazing takes to
Thank
WWE's
you.
Vultures.
And thank you for having me. I had fun.
Yeah, of course. We're always happy to have you, and we hope to have you back again as soon as you are able. Taker, promote your own show, your shows, both of them.
Yes. You can find me on Shooting the Breeze. That's every Saturday morning at 11 Eastern, 10 Central. Get your, like you guys say, get your breakfast, get your wraps. I'm to always have my buddy, Mr. Dr. Senju, my co-host. Can't forget him. He's a great guy.
And he is, and just freshly engaged as well. Congrats, MDS.
Yes,
Oh, congratulations.
Yes,
Congrats or condolences, depending, but either way.
By all accounts, he and his
we
girlfriend
will. We are looking forward to hearing the same from you, George. But
We'll get there.
me and George, I think we are destined for bachelor life as it is, but we'll see. But
and then I have a show called Connoisseurs of Wrestling. My normal, which is airing now on Mondays at 8 Eastern, 7 Central. Yes, we're going directly against Raw. So if you guys are unhappy with Raw, come check us out. I have Biff Kensington III, who's currently was on a little bit of a medical hiatus. Plus, he had some issues with his computer. He's home from the hospital and his surgery. He's doing better.
good.
He's working on getting his computer back up and operating correctly so he can join us. But we added a brand new permanent co-host last week in one George and Savas. So
Hey, that's me.
yeah, that's you. And our last show was about we talked about the hearts, the ones that have passed from us, and it was a great show. This week, if you want to find out what it is, on Connoisseurs of Wrestling, Kayfabe lives there. We don't tell you who it is. If you want to know, come check us out. That's 8 Eastern, 7 Central. You can also find me on Twitter at Takers_Minion, of course.
Indeed.
And you can find me on K-Side in the daily and the nightly usually.
Tanya, where can we find you on Twitter also? Because your Twitter is one of the highlights of my
Oh yes, and
Well,
don't forget hashtag #BlockABitch2018.
Yeah, never forget that.
You can find me at Militia Malice Joe. If that's too much, just look for my name. It's now the Universal Goddess from Hell.
Mhm. Well said. And we can, of course, if you recall last week, we had the good brother Don Sal on the show as well. And you can find him with his show Match Fixing over at Cedar Bridge Media. And he brings his own unique takes to the wrestling realm, and it covers other sports as well. Very intelligent stuff. We love Don Sal. He does great stuff. And you should go check him out. You can find him on his personal Twitter at Kusmano_Sal or at Cedar Bridge Media at Cedar_Bridge. You can follow us on Twitter as well at our personal Twitters, CrazyChris576 and at GitSavas. And you can follow the show on Twitter at 2guys1sport, #2, #1 in the handle. Check us out. Throw us a follow. We love interacting with all you guys and having some good conversations about wrestling, about sports, about whatever comes across your mind, guys. Anytime you guys want. If you're looking for some non-wrestling content, you can also find me over on twitch.tv/CrazyChris576. Sundays, Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays with live video game streaming. We're deep into our StarCraft 2 complete campaign playthrough. Just started Heart of the Swarms. We're about 1/3 of the way through, making our way through. It's been a ton of fun, and I'd love to have you over there for having some good conversations with some good video games. Not necessarily good video game play because, I'm not a pro, but it's still a good time. Love to have you if you can make it. Again, twitch.tv/CrazyChris576. You can find us on iTunes as well. Follow the link below the video in the description. for the iTunes link where you can subscribe, give us a rating, give us a recommendation, and let everybody know as well within your wrestling fan friends to come check us out Thursday nights, 9 Eastern, 8 Central, because we love to have you guys all here in the chat, interact with us. Thank you guys all who were here tonight, especially interacting with us, interacting with our guests. It's always great to have you guys here, and we thank you for your participation, because that is part of what makes this show so amazing, is the fact that you guys are here hanging out with us. That makes all the difference in the world. Next week, come on back for episode 72, where we'll be talking about the full Mae Young Classic bracket, as well as the road to destruction with New Japan Pro Wrestling, and continue to check out what we've got for you guys. Am I forgetting anything? Am I missing anything? George, you're the smart one here. Let me know.
Well, if I'm the smart one, we got real problems. But it sounds like, let me see, did you covered Taker's Minion, you covered Tonya, you covered me, you covered Sal, you covered Twitch, right?
Yep.
You covered iTunes and YouTube, right?
Yep.
I think you're good.
Good.
My turn, right?
Your turn. Take us home, brother.
First and foremost, a sincere thank you to our guests. You guys were awesome, and we love having you on. Thank you for being on our show this week.
Thank you for having me.
As always, be good to each other. Be kind to each other. Block a bitch 2018. Don't work yourselves into a shoot. Thank you for starting your weekend with us. Give us a like. Give us a subscribe. That's Taker's Minion over in Iowa. Tanya's down in Mississippi. Chris is over in New Jersey. I'm George here in Chicago. This has been Two Guys, One Sport. Enjoy the weekend, everybody.
Episode 71 is in the books.